Super Poly Process Wash tickets at any Auto Bell for just $55.
People can tell when you Auto Bell.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time!" So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 Pepsis for just $4 at Handy Hugo. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBrian.com. That's GotBrian.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Gorgeous afternoon out there. Mostly sunny skies, warm temperatures with highs in the mid-80s, but our humidity is on the tolerable side. It will be another very pleasant night tonight. We drop into the upper 50s, so it'll feel refreshing in the morning. We'll see clear skies tonight and partly cloudy skies tomorrow with a high of 88.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit Newcomb & Company. .com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 28 points to 39,835.
Love guarded by Keels. Gets a screen. Pulls up for 3. Got it! Caleb from straight away! Jones with 1. Jones puts it up at the buzzer. Yes! He ties the game!
Joining with a long rebound. Kicks ahead to Smith. 3-ball right side.
Bang!
Shotgun snap. Bryce Young. Pressure off the backside. Throw to the end zone. Shark pulls it in with his fingertips.
And another chance. And the save's made by Anderson. And the fans will tell you that you have a good night.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 3 o'clock on a Tuesday. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox producing the show. OTAs going on, optional team activities in Charlotte for the Carolina Panthers going on over the next handful of weeks. And if there's one thing we've learned, it's that 1 year, granted an atrocious year that the Carolina Panthers suffered, have wiped our brains completely clear of what we thought Bryce Young was, what we know Bryce Young to be. Did it really only take 1 year for the world to forget who Bryce Young is and what he is known for? So let's paint the picture real quick. OTAs are going on. They've had one practice, and much of the discussion on this show and others is about implementing Dave Canales' offense. It's about building trust between Canales and Bryce Young and the rest of the offensive players and integrating high draft picks like Xavier Legette into the whole structure of the offense. There's a notable similarity between the coverage of OTAs for the Carolina Panthers, and it goes across every publication. Right? It's not like one person said it. I have 4 headlines in front of me that I'll read to you, but just know, could be 100. right? It could be 15. If I wanted to go read them, I just think you'll get the picture in 4. Pro Football Talk headline. Dave Canales says Bryce Young has been fantastic learning the Panthers' new offense. The Athletic headline. Panthers OTA takeaways. Bryce Young embraces Dave Canales' way of teaching. ESPN headline. Canales, quarterback Young doing fantastic in Panthers' new offense. Panthers Wire, which is a USA Today publication. Panthers head coach Dave Canales says Bryce Young, fantastic at picking up the new offense. Is anyone surprised that Bryce Young is a smart football guy, has a high football IQ? Why is that the takeaway? Those aren't headlines. Bryce Young is that guy. Hey, everybody. Bryce Young's picking up a new offense quickly. Hey, everybody, he's fantastic at picking up a new. That's the only reason he's in the NFL. Is because he is a football IQ savant. It's definitely the only reason he was drafted highly. Nobody going into the draft, nobody even last year is watching Bryce Young play and go, you know what, I bet you he is who he is because of his physical tools. I mean, Anthony Richardson, he is not. He's not 6'4", 6'5", 240, runs a 4.4. He's 5'10", 180. Runs pretty quick.
Built like Seth Jarvis.
He's built like Seth Jarvis. We don't know if he's that tough yet. If you told me he was tough like Seth Jarvis, I'd be all in. Although it would be more difficult to throw with a torn labrum. Off shoulder, maybe. But my point is, like, let's make sure we don't operate from a point of ignorance or completely unknowledgeable. Let's operate like we know the reason why Bryce Young is because of the football acumen he's shown. Now, last year, for whatever reason, whether you think it's his fault, the supporting cast's fault, the coaching staff's fault, the football acumen didn't exactly translate to success. But at no point in time was anyone suggesting he was out there like running the wrong plays. Right there, every once. Here's a story, and this is a mean story. You should not do this to middle schoolers, but I think it's funny. My middle school football team. I went to a school that had kindergarten through senior year, right? So there was like a freshman year football team that had 7th and 8th graders on it, and one of my coaches guessed that one of the younger quarterbacks didn't actually know any of the plays. He thought he was just, going into the huddle saying, trips right, back 25, whatever, and then dropping back and looking for somebody open. Had no clue where they were going to be running or what they were going to be doing. So one day our coach grabs some of us older guys and he goes, watch this. And he calls over to the kid. He goes, I need you to give me a fake 22 blast with a backside George reverse. You got that? Fake 22 blast with a backside George reverse. Like your life depends on it.
Like, remember the Titans.
There it is. All of us immediately pick it up because we're middle schoolers and Remember the Titans hadn't come out that long before. We're like, he's giving them the Remember the Titans play. Sure enough, kid runs into the huddle. All right, fake 22 blast, backside George reverse. Ready, break. Just kind of snaps the ball and looks around, sees if anyone's eyes are getting big like they want the ball, and then it's a funny move. No one is doing that in the NFL. All right, Bryce Young was not dropping back going, I wonder who's going to be open on this play. The dude is a smart quarterback. He was smart in Nick Saban's system. You think Nick Saban was putting up with a guy that couldn't pick up a playbook by day one? Bryce Young picks up playbook fantastically is not a headline. Just like Yao Ming is tall is not a headline. It's like, yeah, that's part of the reason why we like him. It's part of the reason why he was a prospect. Nobody rated Bryce Young a top prospect because of his physical tools. The only reason anybody wanted to draft him was because of his brain and his football IQ, and then the measurables were good enough. He didn't have Josh Allen's arm, but he was good enough he could make every throw. He didn't have Lamar Jackson's mobility, but he was good enough to move in the pocket. The superpower. I talk about quarterbacks having superpowers, right? You need one. You need something you do exceptionally well for anyone to believe in you. That was all brain space for Bryce Young. It's not news that the smart guy is smart. Based on last year, we can talk about his execution, right? Because it's one thing to know where to go with the ball. It's one thing to know, what the motion is or what the protection is. It's one thing to know what the defense is doing. It's a whole other to execute well against it. As a former quarterback, I can tell you there's a lot of throws. As soon as it left my hand, I'm like, that's not where that ball should be going. I know what the defense is in. I know what our play call is, and I know it should go to that guy. But for some reason, I threw it to the other guy. Those were the things that we can address. Picking up the offense, fantastic. I mean, the fact that fantastic worked its way into 3 of the 4 headlines I read, that's just a coach telling his quarterback, yeah, he's doing fantastic.
They're just quoting Canales.
Canales, yeah, he's doing, because they were asked, and it's, of course. Now, if you don't come in with that reputation, maybe it's a question. If anything last year raised you to believe he didn't know what the playbook was, he's picking it up fast. All right, yeah, yep.
Well, to be honest, I don't think the Panthers coaches last year also knew what the playbook was. Let's be real.
What do you think?
Can't hold that against Bryce.
They're in his radio inside his helmet going, yeah, I don't know, Bryce, do what you want. Thinking some kind of run to the right.
3 little pigs on 2.
They're going, give me a fake 22 blast with a backside Georgia burst. It worked for Denzel. Listen, OTAs, it's going to be tough to make any kind of massive headlines, right? Because, 11 on 11, the media can't even take pictures or record. Like, it's all behind a shroud of secrecy, right? There's a little bit of cloaking going on there where you're going to hide things. Let's how about this? Ready? Xavier Legette, fast. He's going to be fast, right? He's going to be a specimen. He's going to be big and strong and fast. That's going to happen. If he becomes a super nuanced route runner, boom, headline. Because he wasn't asked to do that at South Carolina. Right? You have to understand where the baseline is with these guys. Maybe even a better example, because it's another veteran coming back. If Ike Ekwonu mows people down in the run game, that's not a headline. He's been a good run blocker. Now, if he becomes, a barrier, if he becomes a brick wall in pass protection, and he's excellent in handling twists and other complicated defensive line maneuvers in front of him, boom, headline. Put that on a billboard, send that everywhere, because last year he struggled with it. Those are the headlines, right? Man bites dog, dog bites man. Which one's a headline, right? It's man bites dog because it's unusual. That's an old journalism saying. Bryce Young is smart. It's not unusual. It's the very journalism kind of, it's not really a story side of things. Maybe put on the back page. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox has something for you.
Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. Just absolutely gorgeous day out today. Maybe you want to escape to the great outdoors at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School, where their stunning 65 acres offer more than just a world-class shooting experience. Did you know spending some time out in nature can significantly improve your mental state and your physical well-being, improve your mood? Studies do show that being outdoors reduces cortisol levels, which are increased due to stress, muscle tension, and strain on your cardiovascular system, while also lowering your heart rate and your blood pressure. Regular visits to Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School can help you decrease your risk of maybe some heart disease. Plus, it will boost your vitamin D levels because you're outdoors. Essentially, which is good for your bones, your blood cells, your immune function, everything you can do at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Not only is it just a good time, but there's also some health benefits I can go into it as well. I'm already looking into the next time I can go to Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online at deepriversportingclays.com. Again, deepriversportingclays.com. Let the adventure begin.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 99 questions about the college football season continues coming up next when we answer this question. How does UNC replace Drake Maye? Not easy. Coming up next.
As they say, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Canes fans, it was a great run in the stand. No, it wasn't. This sucks. Now it's time for a new look Canes. What will the franchise do tomorrow? Trade your favorites? Smash the piggy bank in free agency? Find out with us, your official home of the Carolina Hurricanes, in season and the off season. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Oh, this North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club espresso is strong.
Pace yourself. New winners tend to overdo it on the coffee. And with new scratch-offs out, well...
Hey guys, I'm a new winner. My name's Steve. What's your name? I really love this coffee. Wow, this place is great. Glad I grabbed a new scratch-off. Okay, nice to meet you. Gonna get a massage. Ooh, I think I need to relax.
Told you.
This month's tickets pack $135 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.41 to 4.25. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor things you love to do. Hiking, jogging, biking, going to the beach. You name it, it can't be done. Don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints like your knees, hips, back, and shoulder. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, who was an orthopedic surgeon who became a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Revolutionary treatments for joint pain are here. Call 919-400-5473 with locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money, your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Maye to throw, and wide open down the sidelines, and on the way is J.J. Jones. He's going to take it all the way. I almost couldn't believe it. There was no hurricane in the zip code, and Jones hits pay dirt 74 yards for the touchdown.
It's time for the latest question in our 99 questions about the college football season series. Here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. 99 questions to get you ready so when that college football season comes around, you are fully prepared. And this question is one that lurks every single time a quarterback is drafted highly, right? This question lurks when your quarterback is drafted in the top 3 overall picks. How do you replace that guy? And it's always a tall task for the next quarterback stepping in, and it's always a tall task for the coach and the offensive play caller and everybody, because having that guy, in this case Drake Maye for UNC, it allows you to cover up some flaws, right? Might be a bad play call, but with Drake Maye out there, it's a good play call, right? Oh, man, nobody's open. Don't worry, he'll scramble around for 6 seconds and throw it left-handed to a guy in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown. Just like you drew it up.
Hey, go deep, 50 yards. Don't worry, he'll have time.
Even if he doesn't have time, he'll make time.
He'll make some time. Go deep.
How do you replace that? I think it's an answer, but I want to admit it's a trick answer. You don't. You can't. If you could replace Drake Maye with the next Drake Maye, heck, you'd be like Alabama.
Well, it's not like you went from when you had Sam Howell. Okay, I replaced Sam Howell. Oh, Drake Maye.
Unreal quarterback succession plan there. It's unfair to ask of Max Johnson, Connor Harrell, or Jacoby Criswell. It's unfair. There is no Drake Maye to replace Drake Maye like there was a Drake Maye to replace Sam Howell. You don't. You don't replace him. You change the role of your quarterback so you don't have to replace him, right? You build the offense around what you do best. Last year, what you did best was let Drake Maye be Drake Maye. This year, what you do best is let Omarion Hampton, your running back in that running game, be Omarion Hampton in that running game. Build the offense around that. You change the role of your quarterback. Your play calls are different. Your offense is different. Your time of possession is different. Your scoring output is different. So your quarterback can be different. There should be times this season when the quarterback is nothing but a middleman to get the ball from the center to the running back and execute some checks at the line of scrimmage to make sure you're running in the right direction. That gives your running plays the most likely chances of success. Build the offense around what you do best. By the way, in modern college football, you should be very, very pleased that Omarion Hampton is still on your campus. Omarion Hampton was one of the best running backs in the entire country last year. Be darned just the ACC.
I think it was the second-team All-American, I think.
It was, 1,500 yards rushing, something like that. Double-digit, easy touchdowns. That guy could have hit the portal and said, "Here's my offer. Here's my quote." Like he's a actor, right? Here's my quote. Here's much money I want, and there would have been a gaggle of suitors. But you kept him on campus. You did something that made him like North Carolina enough that he didn't want to leave Chapel Hill. Take advantage of that. And whether it's Max Johnson, the transfer from Texas A&M at quarterback, whether it's Connor Harrell, the homegrown guy, or Jacoby Criswell, the homegrown / transfer. He's kind of a hybrid of the both. Started there, left Arkansas, came back.
Came home, yeah.
Whoever is going to be the guy, and I would guess it's going to be Max Johnson or Connor Harrell, probably leaning towards Max Johnson is the most likely because you did bring him in that transfer portal. Whoever ends up being the quarterback, do not ask them to be Drake Maye. Do not ask them to do the things that Drake Maye did. Do not ask them to physically or mentally or leadership or dynamic ability be the number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft. If they become the number 3 pick in the NFL draft, hey, happy accident. But you can't plan on that sort of thing. And so often I think that's a mistake that teams have when they are trying to, quote-unquote, replace or fill the void of one of those top quarterbacks. They think, well, our offense worked so well last year this way, let's do it. What they don't acknowledge is, right, the turnover. I'm going to talk about turnovers on the field, turnovers on the roster. Guys can't always do that, right? What you don't want to have happen is be in the film room with Max Johnson, Connor Harrell, whoever your quarterback is, playing old Drake Maye film going, and this is what I need you to do here. I need you to spin left, spin right, escape to your right, find Tez Walker running wide open downfield.
Deal.
And they're going to go, yeah, I tried that. He caught me from behind. Yeah. I tried to throw it late. I fumbled. and trust me, the whole time I was thinking I was going to do that. In my brain, I was doing the same thing you just showed me on film. Didn't happen that way, Coach. So how about this? Next time, when the defense is attacking a blitz like that, let's call a screen. Let me dump it off to Amarian. Something more my speed, right? You see it every single time one of these guys has to be replaced. And it's not fair. It's in a lot of ways, it's simply not fair to the next guy. Drake Maye's trying to replace Mac Jones. Mac Jones, though, had the tough task of replacing Tom Brady. He probably dealt with a lot of the same stuff, right? Anytime you're replacing the guy, you need the expectations and the role in the offense to be scaled way back. So before you think, one of the questions of college football in this series we have, how does UNC replace Drake Maye? The answer needs to be, who in their right mind thinks they could replace Drake Maye? What do you have Jaden Daniels coming up in the those guys don't grow on trees. By the way, for Drake Maye's progression at the next level, here's his head coach Gerard Mayo talking about his number 3 overall pick quarterback.
Drake did a great job, not only, progressing on the field, but also off the field. You can already tell, he's going to put in that extra work. I walk by the quarterback meeting room. He's just in there by himself watching film. And those are the things that you want to see, and excited to see his growth going forward. Look, he's learning a new playbook. He's learning a new language. He's learning his teammates. He's learning fundamentals that we preach here. So it's a lot for him. At the same time, I think I know he can handle it, and I just look forward to seeing him progress.
I think you can ask the next quarterbacks to take that kind of stuff seriously. Be in the film room, be doing extra, be a leader, be all those things. We'll ask you to do that like Drake did, and then we won't ask you to be, 3rd and 17, throwing laser ropes across your body. We won't ask you to do that yet. But the off-field stuff, I do think you can be demanding and say we need it done like Drake. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Carolina Hurricanes season came to a close. We've broken down the end of the season in a bunch of different ways. Now it's time to break down the offseason in a bunch of different ways. Free agents, unrestricted free agents. Who do you want back? Who was such a big part of the run this past year? You can't imagine a season without them. And who can you imagine walking away and not being too hurt about it? We go through every unrestricted free agent next.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every goal, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a game-winning goal on the final seconds of overtime or a shot on goal in the first period. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. You or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help. Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
McDonald's presents Burger Reviews by Hamburglar. Today's review, the best ever Big Mac burger. Take it away, Hamburglar.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, there's more special sauce in every bite.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble indeed, my friend.
Save on a Big Mac and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus get any size Diet Dr. Pepper for $1.29.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Available at most restaurants in this area. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing, help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com. Ends 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
For a limited time at Circle K, get 3 20-ounce ice cold Mountain Dews for only $5. Only on the Inner Circle app. Do the Dew.
You don't sit on your keister as the home team drives in the playoffs. So after the game, get off your keister and get to Heister to score a killer special. Right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, get over $12,500 off a 2023 Dodge Charger or Challenger, up to $12,000 off the 23 Durango, or up to $13,000 off a 23 Grand Wagoneer. Rams, up to $10,007 off a 24 Ram 2500, or up to $12,600 off a 24 Ram 1500 Bighorn. Hurry in to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
The Triangle is going to be hopping this summer with great soccer. June 5th through the 10th is TST, a 7-on-7 men's and women's tournament at Wake Med Soccer Complex featuring 118 matches. Then July 23rd, International Giants, Manchester City, and Celtic face off at UNC. Save 10% off tickets by going to fcseries.com/Carolina. Use promo code TRIANGLE. That's fcseries.com/Carolina, promo code TRIANGLE for 10% off.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% on your choice of any 6 or more interior 6-panel pre-hung slab or bifold doors. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us for the materials you need. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at Lowe's.com/credit for details.
Get a great deal this spring on a new Train heating and cooling system. Train systems are engineered to keep up with you. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer and learn more. It's hard to stop a Train.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Free agency has to be no fun for really anyone involved in a professional sports team, especially a team like the Carolina Hurricanes, who it does seem like is actually likes each other.
Yeah.
Right? It does seem like for the most part, everybody gets along. They respect each other's grind. Coaches, players, front office. It seems like they like each other. And it came across in a lot of their exit interviews. Matter of fact, let's play some audio from Rod Brindamore on the system and all the belief in it.
You see it, you hear it, you try not to. That is, I think, just totally inaccurate, on our perception of our group. I believe in this group. I believe in the way we do things. I just look at even this year. We had a great year. Great year. We play the best team in the league, and we're going toe to toe with them. And yeah, can we do things better? Of course. Within that series, there are things that we didn't play, or we could talk about the power play. Power play was great all year. It went for 4 games. It stunk, and we didn't. Is that the difference? Well, not really. If you really break it down, there's a couple other things that were glaring to me that popped in. I don't think it had anything to do with how we're playing.
Belief in the system. It's not about luck. It's about how they're playing. Everybody's believing in the system. Well, if everybody wants to be back, that makes Don Waddell's job very difficult because he gets to choose. I say he gets to, like it's a luxury. He has to choose who comes back and who doesn't. He gets to be the Grim Reaper of Kane's careerdom.
Who does he prioritize?
Who does he prioritize? We're going to play that game in a second, but first let's hear from Don Waddell, the GM.
Actually, Rod and I have talked. We haven't sat down and really prioritized player by player. We know that we'd like to try to keep as much of our D together. We think we've got one of the best D corps in the league. So I'd like to keep them together. I know with Jake, I think he played a good role here. I know Sebastian talked about how much he liked playing with them. So, we haven't begun those talks. We'll talk to him also. But when the season ends like this, it's not something that everybody really wants to talk about. Now, in the next few days, I know I'm going to hear from all the agents, and we'll start discussing where these players, where they're at and what they expect.
Where they're at and what they expect. What do we expect? That's the question. So I have a list here in front of me of 9 unrestricted free agents, and we've set up our own scale. It's very high-minded. It's very analytical. It's very complicated. 1 through 5. 1 meaning you do not even see a path where you would, if you were in Don Waddell's shoes, expect this player back on the Carolina Hurricanes. 5 meaning priority, top of the list. I would do what it takes to get this player back on the Carolina Hurricanes. I think they are vital. They are a cornerstone species, right? They are the keystone in a run to next year's Stanley Cup, which is what you have to be thinking of. Do you mind, Dennis, you're going to be participating in this. We'll give it a number. As we discussed before the show. I don't know why I broke news to you there. Do you mind the order, or can I choose?
Go for it.
Let's start with the new acquisition. Jake Gensel, 29 years old, $6 million, his previous salary, average annual value. 1 to 5. How much do you think they need Jake Gensel back?
7.
You're all in.
Yes.
Even if it's at $9 million a year.
It might be that number.
Because I do want to make sure in this exercise we are taking into account what it would take to bring that player back, because I don't want it to be, let's bring them all back and just tell them they all get $2 million. Like, if you're bringing Jake Gensel back, it's at a cost that is going to be higher than anyone else on this list.
He's the best winger that Sebastian Aho has played with. Simple as that.
Let's hear from Jake Gensel. We have some audio. Jake Gensel on his situation.
Yeah, I mean, I loved my experience here. I loved it here. It's a great place to play. I don't think you realize the behind the scenes how good it is, and the guys make it good too. So see what happens. Yeah, hopefully. I'm really. I just loved my time here, and it was. We're gonna see what happens after next little bit here.
I'm giving it a 5 also. I mean, you gave it a 7 on a scale of 1 to 5 after I explained that it's supposed to be a very simple system.
Yeah.
You went and made it complicated
Yes, I
right
did.
out the gate.
Yes, I did. That's how much I believe in that guy.
I'm giving it a 5. I have this, I don't even know if it's a theory. It's a gut reaction anytime I see a trade where I tend to, unless it's just an exorbitant overpay, unless it's just, a billion trillion picks and players for one mediocre player, I tend to think the team that gets the best asset, the one biggest asset, is the winner. So using that logic here, I think Jake Gensel is like the big fish. Like, he is the big fish next to fishy. I think he is the top end here. He's shopping on the top shelf. I think a good free agency or a good front office in an off season, you can fill your fourth line. Right, you can find a defenseman or two to put into your rotation. I think it is much more difficult to find the guys with rare ability, and Jake Gensel has rare ability, and you pay for scarcity, right? You pay for rare, you pay for unique, and he brings a lot of that.
He's one of the top overall 3 free agents, probably top 1, depending on who you ask, in the entire NHL.
Which is why I did suggest,
the entire league.
Even if the money, would you pay him more than Aho?
Ooh, I don't know.
Because when you're the big prize on a free agency, that's when bidding wars get into play. If his agent's worth the salt that they're going to maximize their earning potential here, barring some kind of real weird, like I stayed in Raleigh for a month and I'm giving a hometown discount.
Yeah,
like
they ain't doing that.
barring some kind of weird feeling there. Fell in love with the barbecue, and unless that is the case, it's going to cost you a pretty penny.
Here's one thing that Carolina can offer that other teams can't. In free agency in the NHL, if you hit the open market, the maximum length contract you can sign is 7 years. If you sign with the team you're currently under, you have your rights are underneath, you can get an 8th year on your deal. That's the one thing that Carolina can offer. Like, hey, we can give you an extra year of term. Like, it might not be the average annual value that you want, but we can tack on the extra year for you.
And you can work on it in the month of June.
Exactly.
You can slow play it while other teams will have to wait right at that finish line of free agency to pounce. All right, so we're high on Jake Gensel. Let's go to Teuvo Teravainen next. Let's go with the centers. Age 29, previous annual average annual value 5.4. I'll start this one. I'm going 3. I think Teuvo Teravainen is a guy you bring back if maybe you strike out on some other targets. He's a guy you bring back if he's willing to take a little bit less money to hang around. He's a guy you bring back but if every time you say he's a guy you bring back, you're following that with if you don't love him that much. Let's hear from Teuvo Teravainen himself before we hear from Dennis.
With all these people and the team has been awesome. Everything is good here, so hopefully I can stay. I'll never know. It's kind of a new situation for me right now.
I'm a 3. Dennis, what are you?
2. He's a lower priority for me. 2. I think there are other younger, talented guys that you might see here in the very near future. Like the guy we saw prospect in training camp this past year, Felix Unger-Sorum. If he's NHL ready, I can play Felix Unger-Sorum and not have to worry about paying Teuvo Teravainen $5.5–6 million a year.
If Jake Gensel is not brought back,
still a 2.
Still a 2.
Still a 2.
All right, we're getting to the point now in the Canes' run where shakeups are going to be less surprising. It's like at this point, you've had a couple runs with this core. maybe it is time to shake some things up, and Teuvo Teravainen obviously part of that. Let's go to a defenseman next. Brady Shea, age 30, $5.25 million on his previous contract, probably looking to get paid. Let's hear from Shea.
It hasn't been a ton. I think we've done a good job of kind of focusing on the season this year, and I wasn't thinking about that much, and I think probably will pick up now before July 1, and obviously it's an unbelievable place, great people here, coaching staff, players, and medical, everything. It's an unbelievable place to be, and we'll see what happens in the next month or so.
What kind of a deal are you looking for?
I don't know. I think just want a fair offer probably is the biggest thing. We'll see what that looks like. Like I said, I haven't thought about it too much. I got to talk to my agent and talk to Don and everyone. So we'll see, and we'll try to figure it out.
Brady Shea for me, and this is why I emphasized we're taking into account the money. He's a 2. He's a 2 because he's played so well that he's priced himself out of what I think the Canes can afford. Mm-hmm. And if he's looking for a fair offer, I'd like this is a handshake and a nod. This is, we had a great time together. Happy for you. Go get your money. Please go to the Western Conference. Like that's kind of how I end it with Brady Shea.
Or Toronto.
Yeah, like please just, can you get out of our, just not the Metropolitan? Can we at least not the Metropolitan division? Like, we're cool, right? We helped you make this money. You're about to go make a whole boatload of cash. I can't wrap my head around $45-50 million for Brady Shea based on who needs to be taken care of in the next couple of years for the Canes. So he's a 2 for me unless he's willing to take the ultimate hometown discount. And I wouldn't even advise him to do that. I'd be like, I feel like I'm the college basketball coach who has like a first-round pick, one and done, and I'm just like, no, go. What are you doing? Don't worry about finishing your general education classes your sophomore year. Like, they're going to give you $30 million. Get out of here, man. Go.
For me, it's a 3.
Why that?
I think because just, A, the consistency that he brings. 2, he stays healthy. He stays on the ice, which is a massive thing.
Knock on wood.
And I think also his game will age well because he's such a good skater. He's a good stick handler. Is that his body, he's not the rough and tumble kind of defenseman that's going to beat guys up. Yeah, he can play physical when you need him to, but he doesn't have the wear and tear that some other guys are going to have. So when he's age 34, 35, he's still going to be an effective player, whereas other guys, when they hit even age 32, kind of cooked at that point because their bodies have taken too much of a beating. His game ages well. That's why, to me, it's a 3. But again, I just don't think you can afford him because I think on the open market, someone might offer him $9 million a year. Like, legit. Someone, even though he might, some people might project him to be an $8 million a year defenseman. Someone's going to be like, we really need that guy. Let's tack on an extra mil.
If he gets $9 million per, then that handshake I talked about turns into a high five. That turns into like a, hey, way to go, buddy. Next time dinner's on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that becomes a whole different conversation. And yeah, if it's 8 or 9, I'm out just on the price. Next up, Brett Pesce, his Shea's skating mate, his defensive pairing partner. 29 years old, about $4 million per year on his previous deal. Let's hear from Pesce.
At the end of the day, it's if you take all this money, it sometimes makes the team worse, and kind of just depends what you value. And obviously, I've been through both ends where our team wasn't very good to now. It's much easier to go to the rink every day and do what you love.
Did that sound like he's willing to take a team-friendly deal?
That's what he was asked about on that question.
Did that sound like he's willing to take a hometown discount? Does that sound like he feels beholden to what he has helped build in Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
I give it a 3. I think he'll be significantly cheaper than somebody like Brady Shea. I think you can trust who he is as a person because he's helped build it. I think he's, just now kind of hitting that 30-year plateau. And I don't think the Canes can waste any kind of – like if they can legitimately get a discount, if it's $500,000 a year, like if they can legitimately get somebody who's willing to play for you for less than they would get from someone else, I mean, that's value in the margins that you don't find elsewhere. There's no reason for anyone to do that other than like emotion. So I put it at a 3. I understand it's still probably a long shot. He's still probably going to get $35 million, $30 million, whatever, which is a lot when you have some contracts coming up here. But yeah, I'll give him a 3 because he's Brett Pesce, man. He's Brett Pesce.
I'd say 3 as well because you know how valuable he is in terms of penalty kill. And I think they obviously missed him in the Ranger series, really throughout much of the playoffs with on the PK. But the reason why I say 3 is because, like I mentioned about with Shea, is that some guys have wear and tear. Brett Pesce's been through a lot physically in his time in Carolina. Both shoulders he's had issue with, the broken fibula, which I don't think long-term is going to be an issue as someone who's broken their fibula before. But still, I think the wear and tear in his body, who knows what he's going to be at age 33. How willing are you to offer him a contract past 4 years if you're Carolina? That's why I say 3. I would love to have Brett Pesce back. Do not get me wrong. But we're taking all things into consideration here. That's something you have to take into consideration. But I love Brett. I think he's an awesome player. He's been amazing for this franchise and this organization. I would love to see him in a Canes sweater for his entire career. But again, when it comes to dollars and cents, you never know. Because of him being injured late this season, who knows? Teams might get a little scared away. Who knows? But to me, it's a 3.
I think him skating just at the end there was a big like, don't worry about it. I would have been back if we made the next series, which is always an interesting.
Something that he said.
Here's kind of the delineation. Everyone we just did kind of I consider big money. These next handful of guys here are a little bit lesser expensive, but you still have to decide whether they're the veterans you want to fill out your roster, whether you want to give their opportunities to young guys or bring in other veterans. Another Canes kind of a culture guy. Jordan Martinook, age 31, making a little under $2 million per on his previous deal, and he's a guy that Canes fans love. He loves Carolina. Here's Martinook.
I want to stay here, and I love it here. But it's a hard situation. Obviously, it's salary cap and all that stuff, but. I think everybody knows around Carolina that this has been a pretty good home for me, and I'd like to stay and like to hopefully keep that going.
Not hiding his allegiances. His agent's like, you could have. Come on, man. You could have said you don't like something. Just pick anything. You don't like the humidity in the summer. I don't care if you're there or not. Just pick something. I say 4. I say 4 for Martinook. I want him back. And when I say, like, I want him back, I'm not going to break the bank for him. I don't think you're going to have to break the bank for him. And also, if there's going to be a shakeup, if you're going to move on potentially from guys like Pesce and Shea, if you're going to move on from maybe a guy like Teuvo Teravainen or a trade for something like Martin Necas, if you're going to move on from guys, I still think you need a couple keepers of the culture. You need someone to take these new guys and indoctrinate them into how it's going to be. And, yeah, Stahl and Aho and those guys, great. But sometimes it's the low-paid veteran grinder who's like, this is actually how we're going to do it here. You need to listen to me. I'm Jordan Martinook, and I'm here to stay. And then on top of that, it's not like he's a liability on the ice.
No, far from.
It's
far from that.
It's not just a personality hire. It's a player who brings personality and brings grit, but also pretty darn good. So I want him around. I'm giving him a 4.
5 for me.
Oh, really?
5 for Martinook for me.
Love that guy. Big Party Marty guy over there.
Jordan Stahl is your captain because he's the echo of the voice of the head coach, Rob Brindamore, to the rest of the locker room. Obviously, the faces of your franchise are Sebastian Aho, Svechnikov, Jarvis, those guys moving forward. The heart and soul of your locker room is Jordan Martinook. Like, that guy is as responsible for the culture that the Carolina Hurricanes have built since Rob Brindamore took over 6 years ago. He's as much a part of that as anyone else is in that locker room. Like, he's a heart and soul. And like you said, he's not a liability on the ice. He's a damn good hockey player. He's one of your top penalty killers, one of your best defensive forwards, and also just happens to be somewhat productive in the playoffs as well. Yeah, Jordan Martinook, 100% a 5 for me. And again, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg because when you first had him, he was at $2 million a year. He re-signed with you for 1.8. Like, you could bump him back up to $2 million or 2.1 for the next 4 years. Yeah, for the next 4 years. And guess what? He probably would take it. There's a lot of teams around the NHL that want to change around their culture. They would sign more.
We're going to have to speed this up a little bit.
Okay.
So, Tony DeAngelo, I think he's gone. He didn't play much. He said he loves Rod. I get that. But to me, there's younger defensemen coming up in the system that I'm going to want to give those minutes to.
So what's your number?
1.
One for me as well.
If we could go lower, I probably would. No disrespect to Tony. I think he played actually admirably in the postseason.
Yeah, I thought he played actually pretty well.
But it's just sometimes it doesn't align.
I'd much rather give Scott Moore that ice time.
Exactly. Stefan Nason. I mean, in the postseason, actually scored quite a few goals.
4 of them.
Does something that not many Canes do. Sits in front of the net and finds a way to get the puck into the net. I'd go 2. I'd like him back if it's all convenient. The problem being, I mean, he didn't take enough time on the ice, and there's something that was maybe that's because of who his line mates were. But if he's on that fourth line, it's not like you're going to get paired with Jarvis and like you're not going to be. I don't see a path to him being a major contributor. So if that's the case, maybe there's a shakeup opportunity there.
To me, he's a 3. Because how many net front guys do you have on your roster right now, or guys are willing to get there?
I think,
not many.
Yeah,
of
I think
them.
that's a priority for the offseason.
And he does it on the power play. He's someone that can do that. But there've been moments in his time here at Carolina where, due to injuries or, you know what, we just got to shake up the lines for the course of the game. Stefan Nason will play up on a top line with Aho. He's like, hey, Park's right there in front of the net. That is something valuable, and his style of play fits the system that Rob Brindamore runs. To me, I would love to see Stefan Nason come back. Now, he says he's intrigued by free agency. He's not closing the door on coming back at all. You never know. It might be signed before July 1st. Who knows? But nonetheless, I still think Nason is someone I would love to see kept around for sure.
$1 million a year, something like that. It wouldn't.
I mean, he made league minimum, which is just under 800,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see him on the open market getting $1.5 million a year, maybe 1.25 a year. But yeah, to me, that's worth it for that guy to stick around.
Antti Ranta 1.
Yeah, he's not coming back. It's a 1.
Jalen Chatfield, last one we have here.
Oh, hit me.
5.
5?
Because of what he does for Orlov, and if you're not going to be able to bring Pesci and Shea back, which is up in the air, I want 2 returning lines, and with Slavin and Burns, and then Orlov and Chatfield, those are your top 4 defensemen right there.
Chatfield is a 5 for me as well, because man, after next season, Brent Burns is a free agent too.
Mm-hmm. And
you got to have and Orlov, you got to have some stability there. Yeah,
and so is Slavin.
Slavin's also he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. But
they're going to make sure of
just
that.
looking at the contracts.
Let's be real. But yeah, Jalen Chatfield.
Funny. You notice like everybody is a free agent. Chatfield might be the only one under contract if he gets a long term.
That's a good point. Yeah, Jalen Chatfield's a 5 for me for sure.
There you go. That's a run through the only unrestricted free agents. There's restricted free agents, but that's a whole other conversation we'll have to save for another day. That is Canes free agency talk here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Right now, I'm Tim Donnelly for DraftKings Sportsbook. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Teams are getting ready for the conference finals, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way. With same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out on the NBA postseason as it winds down. There's so many young stars you could bet on when it looks at the individual player props. Halliburton over in assists. Edwards over in points. That's Anthony Edwards. Jason Tatum over in points, right? Because all these guys are putting their teams on their back. Luka, right? Derek Lively for the local fans from local college football. If you're new to this whole thing and sports betting thing, and you don't want to dive into the player props and the individuals and all that, Super easy to get started. Just try picking a team to win. Go to the app, select your team, place your first bet. It's that simple. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers that download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD, T-I-M-D at sign up. That's T-I-M-D with no spaces. Get $200 in bonus bets when they bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. We'll take a break. When we come back, football at 4. We do a little time traveling. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Are you a big rock, paper, scissors person?
Absolutely.
Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Man, best of 3. Ready?
You can't change the rules.
Why not?
All right, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, he got me. He got me.
And she put the rock. Yes!
I thought he'd go scissors again.
It really is a psychological game.
Unsportsmanlike. Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Autobell Car Wash has been trusted for 55 years for high-quality service. We'll clean your car from the inside out. Now through June 2nd, buy 2 Super Poly Process Wash tickets at any Autobell for just $55.
People can tell when you Autobell.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the potty, less is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. My grip is always stocked. It's our party vibe. So what chicks feel fly. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A pretty afternoon out there with lots of sunshine. High temperatures in the mid-80s. It will be pleasantly cool overnight tonight again. Temperatures will drop into the upper 50s, and temperatures will continue to creep up as the week wears on. A high of 88 tomorrow, and then Thursday's high, 92.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 66 points to 39,873. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. You know, sometimes things just happen kind of organically. Dennis was talking about things we could talk about on the show, and he was like, let's look at how much the Panthers have changed, right? Franchise right now to 6 months ago. Now, I don't think you threw 6 months ago as like a specific – that's just like a – yeah, it's a good round number.
There was no head coach in place 6 months ago.
There's
a lot of uncertainty.
6 months ago was 1 week before. I did the whole how long ago was.com or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They were getting ready to fire Frank Reich.
So just before Frank Reich got fired.
Just literally days before Frank Reich got fired was 6 months ago. How much have the Panthers changed since then? First of all, you could have told me that was 6 years ago, and I'd be like, feels about right. A lot has happened in
yes,
a lot has happened in that time.
Since then.
Right, and we're talking about good, bad, and ugly, right? The draft happened, free agency happened, the Deontay Johnson trade happened, a bunch of actual football games happened.
Scott Fitterer was fired.
A whole bunch of David Tepper roller coaster ups and downs. Like, there's a lot that has happened. Dave Canales was hired. Evero decided to stick around. They went, so much. There was flirtations, even the little things that we don't remember that happened. Remember when Mike Evans was going to be a free agent and everyone thought Dave Canales was going to make a move for him because he had just coached him in Tampa?
Yeah.
And then Mike Evans signed for $50-some-odd million to stick with Tampa, and everyone went, never mind. How much have they changed? In 6 months, the Panthers have changed in every way. The coach, the GM, a bunch of the players, the vibe. Brian Burns.
Yeah. Gosh.
With he was leaving, he was staying, he was leaving, he was staying, he was traded, we didn't get a first back. Oh, wait, they traded back into the first. Oh, look, he got all of the money in the world from the Giants. All of it has happened in the last 6 months. But in actuality, the way that I hope it changed the most is instability. Everything I just said, all right, this happened, and that happened, and this happened, and we forgot this happened, and you forgot that happened, and Brian Burns, and this, and that, and this knew, and that knew, and that knew, and that was fired, and that was fired. That's not how good franchises operate. Good franchises operate with the same people in control for decades. Right? The strongest franchises, look at the strongest franchises over the last however many years. Right? You're thinking Steelers, you're thinking Patriots, you're thinking Seahawks, you're thinking Packers. There are characters in those stories, even if they've changed recently, but they had been the same for decades. Pete Carroll in Seattle, right? Snyder, their GM in Seattle, Belichick, Brady, Tomlin, Roethlisberger, Rodgers, right? These guys, they like the best. They've been there forever. So if I'm looking towards the Panthers and I'm going like, let's look at the last 6 months and how much they've changed. Everything has changed. And that's a problem. Everything has changed. So I'm looking towards like the next 6 months. Hopefully it feels boring other than the games being played. Right? Hopefully 6 months from now we're looking back. Canales is still in control. Dan Morgan is running a steady ship. It's obvious Bryce Young is the guy. There's no new crazy stories about David Tepper. There's no new crazy stories about one of your best players wanting to be traded. There's no need to go out there and shake everything up. In actuality, the way I hope it's changed the most in the last 6 months is going from frenetic to stable, going from skittish to calm, going from frenzied to some other word that means calm. I ran out. It was you got to get the three, rule of threes. Nothing about the Panthers last year seemed stable. By the perfect example, they were getting ready to fire their coach. They had already changed play callers on Bryce Young twice. They went Frank Reich, who was a new play caller at the beginning of the year, changed it to Thomas Brown. That's one change. Changed it back to Frank Reich, and were getting ready to fire the coach and go into another play caller change for your young quarterback. The play caller this year is Dave Canales. And if it works early, it's Dave Canales. If it doesn't work early, it's Dave Canales. It's Dave Canales. The best player on the defense is Derek Brown. He's signed to a contract extension that has him locked into the Panthers for a while, even if they have a rough year or two. That's the difference. Brian Burns was never locked into a contract. 5th-year options and franchise tags and all this stuff was talked about. That's just Band-Aids. That's just, let's make it to tomorrow. That's a problem for future us. Derek Brown is now locked in as the guy. Right? The other franchises I mentioned that were the best over the last 2 decades. You had Russell Wilson in Seattle. You had Ben Roethlisberger. You had Tom Brady. You had Aaron Rodgers. You need the quarterback to be good and be there for a long time. Either the Mannings, Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers. You can look at the best teams and find the quarterbacks that are there for a long time. If we know that 6, 12, 18 months from now, that Bryce Young is one of those dudes, golly, just imagine how much the Panthers will have changed. 6 months ago, we had we were sitting watching the Panthers 6 months ago. We had been through roughly 10, 11 weeks of chaos already, and we're about to pour gasoline on the chaos fire. And not the good kind of chaos that the Canes tried to cause. The bad kind of chaos that you can't control and eats away from your team from the inside. We didn't realize how chaotic it was about to be at that point in time. So the mission for the Panthers that you hope they've accomplished over the last 3 or 4 months is just make it stable. Sturdy it up. Be that Dan Morgan and Dave Canales have to be that book you don't read that you put under the wonky leg of the table. The stabilizers. They have to be that, Spanish to English dictionary that you still keep around just in case, but you never actually open up. And then your table gets a little unstable and you throw it under there. That's what they have to be. Because you needed it in 9th grade Spanish class and it was part of the required textbooks.
The one thing that this team has that didn't have it 6 months ago was direction and a plan. It's amazing. Like they had zero direction. It just felt like they had no plan for where they wanted to go.
Very reactionary.
Yes, it's like we're just gonna put together this all-star coaching staff, and it all blew up in their face. It's like where do we go from here?
You have a game where the running game works better than the passing game. We're smash mouth. The next game, the passing game works better than the running game.
We're balanced.
We're air raid.
Yeah, it's just
we're a Big 12 offense.
But it's just a plan of an organization, a plan about how you want to build your roster, a plan about how you want to grow and develop your culture. There was none of that 6 months ago. Not even close. Not even a shred of it.
Frank Reich, I feel like he had good intentions. He tried. He was little too nice. And by the way, we should emphasize that difference about Dave Canales. There's a difference between like too nice or soft and optimistic. Because Dave Canales is relentlessly optimistic. That guy he wakes up every day excited that the sun rose. I mean, he was pretty confident it was going to happen, but he's pretty stoked that it happened. But
I feel great about playing football right now.
On April 16th or whatever that was.
Yep.
But he doesn't strike me as someone that compromises easy or tries to people please. Like, he knows what he's looking for. He just looks for it in a very chipper tone. Very yippee. That's what he's looking for. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. At 4:33, we're giving away a signed Canes puck. At 4:33, we're giving away a signed Canes puck. And before that, we have Copper Drop. So stick around, more with The Drive next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Are you a big rock, paper, scissors person?
Absolutely.
Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Man. Best of three. Ready?
You can't change the rules.
Why not?
All right, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, he got me. He got me.
And she put the rock. Yes.
I thought he'd go scissors again.
It really is a psychological game.
Unsportsmanlike. Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we're at Athens Drive Magnet High School, and we're here to celebrate our next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Connor O'Toole.
What does winning this award mean to you?
I think it means a lot. Past 4 years, I've put in a lot of work in athletics and in school. I'm glad to see it's paying off, but also all my friends have helped me along the way to elevate my game.
You're involved in a service organization. What kind of impact does this work have in other aspects of your life?
Yeah, so it's not just about getting the service hours in. For example, for Science National Honor Society, when we're taking those invasive plants out of the lake, that's a lake that we run every day at practice. And it's just good to see the community cleaned up, and it's helping everyone around it as well.
Having Connor on our teams has really just meant a consistent, reliable leader and somebody who kids are drawn to. So you ask him to do something, he'll get it done right the first time. And then other kids will follow his lead, really in anything.
He's always pushing us to be a better person, not just on the track, not just during cross country, but in school and everything.
It's just that family feeling. We're all working together. For friends, we practice together, we train together, so that means we're getting better together. And it's just a great thing to be a part of, having so much support.
Such a hard-working kid, and I love him to death. He motivates me every day and pushes me to my limits.
Congratulations, Connor.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a Colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
It's time for Copper Drop on the Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Also, at 4:33, 4 o'clock and 33 minutes, we will be giving away a Stephen Nason signed puck. For those of you that listen to the show often, you know that we had a whole puck giveaway thing for Canes postseason games. I wish they were in the postseason long enough to give away all the pucks. But as a thank you to all of you for participating in that activity, we'll be giving one away at 4:33. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, let's copping it and dropping it.
All right, so we just talked a little bit about the Carolina Panthers. They got a new running back, Jonathan Brooks, someone they drafted in the second round this past year.
They did.
Jonathan Brooks will rush for 1,000 yards his rookie year for the Panthers. Cop or drop?
Let's pretend you said his second year.
Nope, first year. His rookie year.
Oh, goodness. I'll tell you the only reason I'm struggling with it. It's because of the injury.
Yeah.
And it's, I like to think, played college football, study football, watch a lot of film of football, watch a lot of games of football. I like to think I can predict the football better than the average. I don't pretend to be like, I studied a lot of med school. I did sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
You're like Seth Jarvis, not a medical professional?
I'm not a medical professional. Me and Seth Jarvis. That's about the only thing we have in common is that we're both not medical professionals. So I have a hard time predicting whether the ACL will be good enough to carry that kind of load. However, they didn't trade up or back up into the second round to not utilize him, which is why I think, year two, I think it's a smash. I think, he's their guy. But snap counts and carry counts and all that early on, I'll go drop. I think the first 6 to 8 games of the season, even if he's playing well, I think they'll limit how much he's actually on the field and how many carries he gets. Which, for a rookie to rush for 1,000 yards and then on top of that be limited, it's a long shot. So I'm dropping it, but I would cop it if you let me say second year.
Yeah, well, that's not the question.
I do think he's a big part of the Panthers' plan.
For sure.
He's a big part of what they want to do. He's a big part of their offense. I just don't think with the injury he'll be able to get quite there.
My gut feeling tells me is that when the first 6 weeks of the year, so kind of like the end of October, is we really start seeing him get bulk of carries. Because it might be like, all right, here's 8, here's 10, and Chuba Hubbard's getting 15.
And there's kind of an expectation for that to happen that Chuba Hubbard isn't having a great season. Because if Chuba Hubbard gets, a lion's share of the carries for the first month and he's, running for 80 yards a game or something like that, then all right, well, this is perfect. We can bring Jonathan Brooks along slower. And it's like,
yeah. They have the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, which or maybe Miles Sanders has some kind of reawakening.
That's a
maybe.
I'm dropping that
one. I'm just saying there are if you do have those limits, there's a whole bunch of reasons why players have had their roles shortened once they're injured. He's just starting injured. So if someone plays well, ride the hot hand, it could lead to less. So I'm sticking with drop it, even though I don't feel great about it.
Okay. Speaking of the Carolina Panthers, you and I had a conversation with this late last week. So I'm going to ask you, Carolina Panthers will win at least 6 games this season. Cop or drop. I know it's right there on that borderline of what we talked about.
I was going to say, I always get nervous when you say this is something we talked about before. Because then I know that you already know, like, where I am generically, and you're gonna aim right for it.
Exactly.
So what I need to do is, like, because that's bad for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I say, like, I think they're gonna win 6, then I know the next cop or drop you're gonna say they win more than 6, and I'm like, So sorry. Phrase it again for me, just so I know which side's cop or drop.
Carolina Panthers will win at least 6 games this season. Cop or drop.
You know what? I'm gonna be optimistic. Cop. I think 5 or 6 is the 5.5 is a perfect number. Their schedule is winnable. They do not face many of the big bad bullies on the block. They have 3 of the top 8 teams as far as Super Bowl odds on their schedule. They have 5 of the bottom 8 teams as far as Super Bowl odds on their schedule, and none of those teams I just mentioned are in their division, which are always kind of toss-ups, or at least that's the logic, right? Divisional matchups don't have to be the closest matchups to be close on the field. So I think they win 2 games in the division, maybe 3 games in the division, and 3 games out of the division. I think that's how it breaks down. 2 and 4, something like that. But yeah, give me 6 games.
Yeah, because I'm in that 5-6 range as well. I say 6, so I say I'm copped.
So you're copping it also.
Yes,
all right.
I say 6. But again, I'm right in that 5 to 6 wins is kind of where I'm sitting at right now. Let's switch things over to hockey real fast. Cop or drop. Carolina Hurricanes re-signed Jake Gensel.
So much money.
So good, though. So many goals. So many points.
So much money. So many goals. So many assists. You know, I'm going to cop it for this reason. The Canes don't do rentals. And I think because of that, they're not just seeing this as re-signing Jake Gensel. They're also seeing this as having long-term value of the second-round pick you sent away for it, having long-term value of the prospects you sent away for him, having long-term value of Michael Bunting. It's a little bit of pot committed, like you've already decided he's your guy. And then, right, you had the little audition here. How do you say he did anything other than absolutely nail the audition, right? Like,
yeah,
he did everything you wanted him to do. There was a little bit of like is he scoring goals in the postseason? And then he scored 3 in 2 games. And that's on top of all the assists he was picking up. The points per game, everything. Yeah, I think it's going to be expensive, though. I think it's $9.5 million per year. But that's one where you're happy to pay it because he's good. Jake Gensel, I believe, stays. Are you also copying?
I'm projecting here, yes. I'm going to project my thoughts and my feelings and my hopes
so this is
and my wants and dreams.
Heart over brain?
Yeah.
You're trying to just put the energy into the universe?
I am. I'm putting that energy into the universe. By the way, because the couple things. I know Sebastian Aho's contract kicks in. His extension kicks in this upcoming year. But the salary cap is raising about $4 million.
They should have, what, a little over 30?
They'll have roughly about $30 million in cap space this upcoming year going into the offseason. But again, things when it comes to contracts in the NHL is that they're guaranteed. Yep. It's not like football. It's like, well, we could front load a contract with salary cap.
17 void years.
Exactly. You don't do any of that. You can't do that stuff in the NHL, which I appreciate the NHL for not having that because it makes things so much easier to understand.
When someone gets paid that money, they're getting paid that money.
They're getting paid that money.
It's not, he's making 5 years, $140 million, 12 of that guaranteed.
Yeah, definitely not that
what
for sure.
What is the rest of it? What is the other $128 million?
All right, another Canes question for you. Somebody not named Frederick Anderson, Pyotr Kochekov, or Spencer Martin will play in goal for the Carolina Hurricanes next season.
Okay. I'm copying this.
Okay.
Each of the last 2 years they've used more than 3 goalies. They just get hurt. I don't know.
They used 5 this past year.
I believe the intention of that question, that copper drop, was like if this were decision based, but I found a loophole. I believe each of the last 2 years they've used like 5 goalies each, right? 4 or 5?
Just a couple years ago, they only used Ranta, Anderson, and Kochetkov.
See, I thought there was
just
4
a couple
there.
years
I thought
ago.
there was one more in there. Well, last year they used 5. So I'm going. Yeah,
You're gonna cop it.
I'm gonna
Yanni
cop it. You need Peretz.
Let's
getting
go.
himself
Kane's
13 more
legend.
minutes. 1 shot, 1 save. Do better. You can't. I also think there's a halfway decent chance that there's a shakeup in the room. And then if you play 3 goalies, you're getting one that's not one of those 3. So I'm kind of playing the odds here in a couple different ways. There's, I'm looking at multiple different avenues to winning. It's like a poker hand where you're like, I need a 7 or a king or a club. Like I have multiple different outs here. So I'm going to cop it.
Okay, how about this one? I'm going to reword this one for you. Somebody not named...
I'm like you got to be a lawyer out there. You got to
That's
cover
true.
Cover your tracks.
Somebody not named Frederick Anderson, Pyotr Kochetkov, or Spencer Martin will play in goal for the Carolina Hurricanes next season and be on the playoff roster in 2024-2025 year.
Interesting.
So basically, are they going to have a new goaltender in their locker room this upcoming season at some point? No outs here.
No, well, there is one obvious, which would be what if they don't make the postseason?
We're not putting that evil out there, Tim.
I agree.
We're not putting that evil out there.
I wasn't going to bring it up until you said there's no outs. No, I think they roll with those 2. I think it's Kochetkov in goal and Freddie as the backup. Maybe at the deadline they move him, but I think if you get to that point, then you want the veteran depth. So I think the big change year over year in goal is the flipping of the kind of hierarchy, goalie 1, goalie 2. But I think they actually do a rotation for a lot of the year and then see how that goes. So I'm dropping that after copying the previous.
All right, next one here. We talked earlier about how the University of North Carolina and head coach Mac Brown, in terms of their football team, how do you replace Drake Maye? Cop or drop that the UNC Tar Heels football team will start more than one quarterback this season. Cop or drop?
I don't like predicting injuries, although I did just do that earlier. No, I actually no. I think they will start one quarterback the entire year.
Okay.
And so I'm dropping
You're
it.
dropping it.
Here's my rationale. I think the offense will be fine with the running game leading the way, and you don't mess with an offense that's running well, right? If turnovers become a problem for the quarterback, that's kind of the one scenario where things get messed up. But as long as you can keep him honest with your arm, I think the running game is going to be able. Like, I'm a big Omarion Hampton fan. Watching him last year, I think
so good.
I think he's a 6 yards out of a 2 yard expected yardage. He gets 6 there, and that's so big towards keeping the chains moving. So I think the running game will be fine leading the way, and then who's the quarterback becomes less of a factor. So you just don't want to upset the apple cart, right? You don't want to rock the boat, so you stick with the guy who's starting early in the year.
All right, next one here. I know we're going to dive into this a little bit later on, but the NCAA has a lawsuit against them by former athletes over their lack of ability to use their name, image, and likeness for endorsement and sponsorship deals. Well, there's a $2.7 million settlement out there.
Can I correct you?
Yeah.
Billion.
I'm sorry. Yes, $2.7 billion. My apologies on that. See, I can't think of that high a number.
It's a number that doesn't compute.
It doesn't.
Might as well be like Googlyplex.
$2.7 billion settlement that the NCAA has on the table right now that conferences must agree to vote upon. The Big 12 voted unanimously to agree to settle the House versus NCAA case. Cop or drop, the ACC also votes to approve this.
The payment as it is kind of drawn up right now.
Yes.
Yes, I will predict that the ACC will vote to approve. For the simple fact of it seems to benefit the Power 4 conferences. So the Power 4 conferences should all rush to vote yes and then start bullying the non-Power 4 conferences to also vote yes. So, SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC, I think they'll all vote yes. Whether it gets approved or not probably comes down to how many of the other conferences they can get on board. And it is more complicated than this, but it's also not more complicated than this. The big schools just have more money. They probably benefited more from the thing that led to the settlement, not paying the players, and they have more money to pay now. So there's a good chunk of it that's being kind of fronted by the other conferences in this payment plan. And if that's the case, the Power 4 conferences should, I mean, it's like, you know, when you're at the NFL draft and the player who you have number 1 on your board falls to you at 14, you run up there and say, this is the player I want.
Yep.
Like, they should have run up there and say, accept. Yes. Because, you know, it's all about the money. Follow the moolah.
So to provide a little backstory on this one, the NCAA is in a lawsuit. It's got House versus NCAA. It's a lawsuit against the NCAA and some antitrust cases, and there's essentially over the next 10 years, the NCAA, as part of this settlement, would have to pay $2.7 billion to athletes, college, Division I athletes going all the way back to 2016 for their inability to use their name, image, and likeness because of the NCAA preventing them from using it in order to earn money, sponsorship deals, things along those lines, stuff we see current athletes doing right now. But they're going to put a lot of the onus on the non-Power 5 conferences because part of the lawsuit is Pac-12 still existed. So we're going to say Power 5 in this regard. So you'll still see conferences like the American and Conference USA. There are 32 Division I athletic conferences, by the way. We talk a lot about the Big
which is
Five.
where a lot of the money comes from.
Yep.
But there are, I mean, you get to the Horizon, the Big South, you get to the
Big East,
the CAA,
A10.
We could
Mountain West, all those.
Yeah, we can go to all of them.
So there's a lot of stuff
MAC.
the MAC, but a lot of the money is going to be coming from what the NCAA would normally dole out from the NCAA tournaments and things along those lines, those revenues over the next 10 years. So anyway, $2.7 billion in damages is what's proposed right now. Actually, I have one final question here for you. I know we got to take calls here in a sec for our signed puck. One last copper drop.
Let's do it.
Carolina Hurricanes trade Martin Necas this offseason. Copper drop.
Gosh, you had to slide that one in.
Yeah, I
did. Know, before I answer that, I will answer that. Okay. But first, let's give away the Stephen Nason signed puck. This is what we call in the business a stall, ladies and gentlemen, not a Jordan stall, a stall for more time so I can put together all my thoughts on the Martin Necas copper drop.
Okay.
Right now, call in. What do you want to do? Caller number 9?
Yeah, caller 9.
Caller 9 on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326, wins a Stephen Nason signed puck. Fresh off of 4 goals in the postseason for the Carolina Hurricanes. Stephen Nason, we have a signed puck, 919-860-5326. You win the puck if you are caller number 9. Now, Martin Necas will be traded this offseason with the time to think it over. I'm copping it. I think they trade Martin Necas. Here's what I think this offseason is for the Carolina Hurricanes. It's a shakeup. And not the kind of shakeup where you're knocking that. It's not a full teardown shakeup. It's a pretty major renovation, though, right? Pesci, Shea, we talked about him earlier. If they're on the way out, Martin Necas is Teuvo Teravainen, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, if you can find a way to move him. I think both the forwards and the defensive unit need to have some very different blood. And that's no disrespect to the players. That's no disrespect to any of them. Some of them I would love to have back, but it's a money thing. Some of them I think it's just a change of scenery is necessary. Martin Necas, I think it's just a change of scenery. Right? You're hearing things like his dad has said Martin Necas' dad has said that Martin Necas wants to be traded. You're hearing that he wants to be a centerman. He said he wants to be a centerman. Well, guess what? He fits in kind of from a roster perspective as a winger on the Canes. If it's just not aligning, it's just not aligning. Especially, you see this a lot in the NBA, and I think you can use some of the logic here in the NHL, and it happens in the NHL also. It's not exclusive. But a player like Martin Necas, I think he could be a 30-goal scorer, just probably not on a team as good as the Canes. Right? A lot of times you see maybe the 6th man on a contender in the NBA, And it's like, you know what? I think he could be a 20-plus point per game scorer, but it has to be on a place where he's the alpha. He's the main, he's the lead guy. And I don't think he's good enough to be the alpha, be the main, be the lead guy on a contender. But if he wants to go play for the Wizards, I think he could drop 23 a game. Make a whole bunch of money, be a favorite, maybe sneak an all-star or two. Martin Necas, if he wants to be a first power play unit guy, I think he can be a first power play unit guy. I just look at the Canes first power play unit. Who you taking off for Martin Necas? Nobody, right? There's no answer that even makes sense to that question, especially if you bring in Jake Gensel, or you bring back Jake Gensel. So I'm looking at Martin Necas and I'm saying, I think there's some teams out there that would pay a pretty penny for him. And as a team that needs a shakeup, I think you should be interested in bringing in pretty pennies, right? You should be interested in who can bring in a haul that can help you reignite your franchise. Maybe not even reignite, just additionally ignite. Take it to a whole nother level. Don Waddell thinks they need a right-handed centerman. Here's Don Waddell, the GM, on just that exact sentiment.
We both have talked about this all year long, that the depth of our center is good, but they're all left-hand shot. And Roddy's been talking about, we talked about it before the trade, we talked about during the season, trade deadline, throughout the playoffs, that we'd love to get a right-hand shot center to balance our left shots. As we know, there's just not a lot of those guys out there. And but the depth of our center ice, I think, is good. It's just if we could find one of those guys that could win faceoffs on the right side, I think that's what he would like.
Could you turn Martin Necas, who thinks he's a right-hand shot centerman, into someone who Rod Brindamore thinks is a right-hand shot centerman? Could you make some, or turn him into a piece that you could turn into that? Is there a path from Martin Necas to the thing that Don Waddell said the team has been coveting? That's the question, right? Because you don't just give up Martin Necas. Martin Necas is too good to just send out of there on some hey, he didn't want to be here. He's good enough that even a little disgruntled is still an above-average NHL hockey player. But if there's a way you can make your team better and a key part that you've been coveting, and he can be the piece that does it, then you start to get to where it becomes a win-win, right? It becomes you send somebody, a player who wants a bigger role and is capable of fulfilling a bigger role on another team in return for something that can help take the Canes over the hump, which is the question that's going to be asked over and over and over and over and over again until they do. What do you need to get over the hump? How can you get over the hump? What do you need to get over the hump? Just over and over and over again, that's going to be the question.
So former Carolina Hurricane, Peter Mrazek, former goaltender for the Carolina Hurricanes, and Czech native, just like Martin Necas. Both those guys are playing for Czechia right now in the World Championships. Peter Mrazek was asked about Necas flying in from Carolina, and he said, yep, play with him for 3 years. We're good friends, so I knew that he would come. He's got a lot of qualities that I think he has shown in Carolina, but I don't think that they want to see them. However, we'll see them in Prague. And as a follow-up question, so you don't think the Hurricanes are giving him the right role? Mrazek answered that by saying, absolutely. They run things a little differently on that team. He'll get space here, and every fan will see what kind of player he is. So you have a former Hurricane who played in the Rod system, and Peter Mrazek, when Martin Necas was a youngin', saying, yep, they're not using him the way that his skill set can be used possibly. And you know what? That's fine. Not every system is for every player. That's okay. But guess what? You can definitely get, you might not be able to get a right-handed centerman directly, like a one-for-one trade, but what if you can get another good defenseman? Well, guess what? That alleviates you not bringing in bringing back Brady Shea or Brett Pesce or both.
Opens up the money.
Exactly. So it depends on money and all those kinds of things. So here's what Martin Necas can give you. Like you said, he can bring back either a high-end prospect, another current player, whatever it might be.
That you might be able to package with something else. It's all – you hate to say this because you don't want to treat players this way, everything when it comes to managing the roster and a little bit has to be looked at as currency, right? You bring in something for this amount. What can you go buy with that amount? Like it's all connected.
And one thing to keep in mind, too, this is not the first time we've heard Martin Necas or someone around Martin Necas voice displeasure with his role with the team. Remember last offseason, he said, I want to be a centerman. I feel like I can play center. I think you mentioned that. I was still getting the answer on the phone. Clearly, you're not good enough to be a center in Rod Brindamore's system. Like, you're just not, because you're not good enough defensively even as a winger. And the centerman has a much tougher defensive role.
I'll even go more specific than that. Rod Brindamore doesn't think you're a centerman.
Exactly.
In Rod Brindamore's system.
Yeah.
You might think you are in Rod Brindamore's system. Someone else might be telling you from outside that you're a centerman in Rod Brindamore's system. Rod Brindamore doesn't think you're a center in Rod Brindamore's system. And unfortunately for you, if the whole world thinks you are a centerman and Rod Brindamore does not, you're not a centerman on the Canes. He's kind of the only opinion that matters in that situation. And his coaching staff, and, I'm being a little facetious. But that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. So maybe it is a change where, you go find someone that does, and then they're willing to trade a whole bunch for you. So, yes, I'm copping Martin Necas being traded. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free of credit cards, car loan, personal loan, 100% debt-free. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money out for a home improvement project. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's time for a feedback frenzy on The Fan. We look at all your comments online, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere, see what you're saying about the show, see what you're saying in reaction to our conversations, and respond directly to you. Coming up next.
Your favorite resale shop is also in the custom cabinet business. Habitat for Humanity Restores offers brand new cabinets and in-home measurement service, and sales benefit Habitat for Humanity home projects. Habitat's partnering with manufacturers to offer you brand new, high-quality, solid wood custom cabinets in multiple style and color options, and we offer competitive pricing. Learn more about custom cabinets from Triangle Restores and how your dream project could make someone's dream of home ownership come true at trianglerestores.org.
The Triangle is going to be hopping this summer with great soccer. June 5th through the 10th is TST, a 7-on-7 men's and women's tournament at Wake Med Soccer Complex featuring 118 matches. Then July 23rd, International Giants Manchester City and Celtic face off at UNC. Save 10% off tickets by going to fcseries.com/Carolina. Use promo code TRIANGLE. That's fcseries.com/Carolina. Promo code TRIANGLE for 10% off.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. It is playoff time. NHL, NBA, and baseball is in full swing. FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you bet your first $5. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul. Paul with a capital P, and sign up. Then you can bet on everything from slap shots to slam dunks to home runs, all on an app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. So get started today. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, when you place your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul, P-A-U-L, and get started. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor things you love to do. Hiking, jogging, biking, going to the beach. You name it, it can't be done. Don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints like your knees, hips, back, and shoulder. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Revolutionary treatments for joint pain are here. Call 919-400-5473 with locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
Memorial Day deals are here at Lowe's. Right now, save big on Scott's Naturescapes mulch. Get 5 bags for just $10. And there's more. Get up to 40% off. Plus, save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances. These deals are selling fast, so start shopping now. Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 5/29. Mulch excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Appliance savings vary based on purchase. See Lowe's.com for details. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
Get a great deal this spring on a new Trane heating and cooling system. Trane systems are engineered to keep up with you. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local independent Trane dealer and learn more. It's hard to stop a Trane.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, is appropriate, right? It's the listeners that make us feel like we're living a dream. So let's hear from them. Feedback frenzy time here on The Drive. Dennis peruses the internet, finds the best comments from you on our YouTube, on our social medias, and everything else. By the way, follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe, please. Dennis, take it away.
All right, so this comes from the conversation we had yesterday about Dave Canales being the new head coach and him building the trust with Bryce Young. So a conversation from our YouTube that was posted yesterday. This comes from Ben. Ben says, at least Ben. Dave Canales was honest, and I don't see anything wrong with treating Bryce like a rookie.
I think treating Bryce like a rookie and judging him like a rookie are two different things, and I think they're both important. I have no problem treating him like a rookie as long as you treat him like a rookie who you're depending on and is going to be your starting quarterback. Judging him as a rookie, I think, is going to be the hard thing for everybody, right? If you have to count last year as a complete wash, you have to count last year as a complete wash. Like, it's worth nothing. So if he makes a rookie mistake this year, don't go, he's supposed to be over that by now. It's like, actually, no, last year didn't get him over anything. He was learning the hard way about how difficult it is to be an NFL quarterback. So the treating him like a rookie and judging him like a rookie are two different things, and I think they're both important.
All right, this one comes from Mike. This one comes from our conversation we had on Friday after the Carolina Hurricanes were eliminated from the playoffs to the New York Rangers. Mike says, I would not be surprised that the negative sentiments carry into the 24-25 season, and he's also going to make a bold prediction. Canes won't make the playoffs next season, making it the first time in the Rob Brindamore era the Canes won't make the playoffs. That is like the definition of bold prediction there from Mike.
I disagree. I respect you for going out on that limb. I imagine you're vulnerable out there. If the negative sentiments carry over into next year, I think Rod Brindamore has proven to be a good enough motivator to turn that anger into well-channeled energy, and you take it out on your opponents. I would be very, very, very surprised if the Canes don't not only make the postseason, but again are in the mix for winning the division, again are in the mix for President's Trophy, and I'm not saying they achieve those things, but I think they'll be in the mix for them. So I'd be surprised.
All right, this one comes from that same conversation because there's like 150 comments just on that one video alone.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Canes were eliminated. This actually comes from a GTR man. GTR man says, Canes were eliminated by the Rangers twice in the last 3 seasons and have continuously underperformed in the playoffs. The PP, power play, and penalty kill were absent in both rounds. Blame Anderson, referring to Freddie Anderson, blame Anderson all you want, but the whole team underperformed.
The whole team definitely did not underperform because Brett Pesce, they're like, we could name individuals, Sebastian Aho, we could name individuals that performed very well. The penalty kill at one point went, 8-9 straight penalties without giving up a goal.
Yeah, but they were pretty terrible for like a 3-game stretch there.
At the beginning there.
And they weren't great against the Islanders either.
Just saying the entire time they were not atrocious. The power play, yeah, I got no defense there. Matter of fact, the power play had no defense. They gave up 2 shorties. There is this is the part where you have to just grit and bear it, right? This is the part where you have to just that's a fair comment. You did lose to the Rangers 2 of the last 3 years. You haven't achieved the lofty postseason goals that you have. That's, to me, facts. So if somebody wants to point it out, you can get defensive and you can go yell and scream back, or you can say, yeah, you're right. I hope they do the things necessary that it doesn't happen again next year. There is an element of the truth hurts, it stings, and you can't get defensive about it. You just got to get better from it.
All right, this one comes from Production Admin. Good name. It's a good name. Again, talk about the Carolina Hurricanes, the conversation that we had yesterday.
By the way, that's not like our production admin.
No, it's just at Production Admin.
That's somebody who's a production admin for their.
It's a great name.
They're on the company YouTube.
So this is actually the conversation we had yesterday. We're just taking a little bit more time to reflect and also actually asking the question, is Freddie Anderson the guy in goal for the Hurricanes? Production admin says, last third of the season, they alternated goalies, referring to Anderson and Kochetkov, had roughly the same save percentage of well over 900 and won most games. Then we ride Freddie in the playoffs. Why? He's not the guy, never has been, never will be.
I will say you should check out some of my other conversations about the goalies, because I was on that train from the immediate beginning of the postseason going, wait a second. You're telling me since Freddie's been back from his blood clotting issue, he's been unreal, meaning very, very good, but he's been playing every other game. And Pyotr Kochetkov really since December has been pretty darn good, including the portion where they've been playing every other game. Now you get to the postseason and you want to completely change that up. What are we doing here? I was asking the question. At times, I got a lot of the hockey insider crowd going, that's not how you do it. That's not what you do in the postseason. And I was going, why not? You can go find all of those conversations on YouTube. You can find them on our podcast. I have no notes for your comment because I feel like I could have written your comment. I feel like we are of the same brain.
All right, this last one comes from our conversation at the very beginning of the show. That's already up on YouTube, our very opening segment, talking about Panthers OTAs. This one, you said, don't be shocked that Bryce Young picks up a new offense quickly.
Yep.
This one comes from Danger Zone. I'm still not sold on him, but I would love for him to prove me wrong. I'd like to see him take a few more chances running the ball this next year, though. Less staying in a collapsing pocket and taking a beating.
I do know that, well, first of all, I don't think Bryce Young is like a 100% prospect. I think he's 100% an intelligent, high IQ football player. It's a big difference, right? Knowing where to go with the ball and getting it there in the NFL, two very, very different things. But I'm not surprised, like, in shorts and a T-shirt, he looks like he understands the offense. Like, yeah, that's kind of everything about what makes him appealing as a prospect. But going along with what you're saying, I do know that, like, every time he ran, he would, like, shake someone out of their shoes, and then all of the Bryce hive would come out like, he could do this too. And I'm like, well, he does it once every month. Like, if he's got it in his tool bag and he doesn't use it, that's kind of pointless. So maybe he could run a little bit more. I always say you use your legs until you don't have to. It buys you time. Like, you can be effective running until you can be effective 100% of the time from the pocket, which is why, like, a Justin Fields could be really impactful well before he really figured out the whole throwing thing in the NFL. It's like, well, all you got to do is run for 1,200 yards. You can use your legs to buy your arm time to figure it out. So maybe that's what he does. Maybe. There you go. A little feedback frenzy for you here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And now a little conversation with me about my partners at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Do you know how much you're spending on commissions each year out of your retirement account? How about the amount of risk you're taking with your retirement account? Or how many fees you're paying out of your retirement account? If you don't have the answers to those questions, or at least know where you can find them, right? Oh, it's on the portal. It's in this packet that I have, and I know the numbers. I just don't know them offhand. If you don't have the answers, it's time to seriously take a sit down and see for yourself how these financial termites can be wreaking havoc on your financial plan and making the money you have to spend in retirement shrink. Coach Pete knows how to exterminate each of those financial termites and get you not just to retirement, but through retirement worry-free. It's the questions you have to ask yourself. Do you want to have an income you never have to worry about being taken away from you all the way through retirement? Do you want to have an account, an income in retirement that does not depend on the stock market success for your success? Obviously, the answers to these questions are yes. And that's why you have to go ahead and give a call to Capital Financial Advisory Group and Coach Pete. You can call 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215 right now. Make sure they know we sent you. Make sure they know that you heard about it here on 99.9 The Fan from Tim on The Drive. Or you could make it more simple and just text Tim, T-I-M, to 600-700. And when you do that, you'll get your own 7 Baby Steps box set for free. And you'll also get a golden ticket. That's Coach Pete's special golden ticket with a $1,000 value to use for your very own complete and total retirement customized plan. So if you're ready to tackle your future head on, the number 800-691-3215 for that deal I just said. Make sure they know you heard about it from me, Tim, or just text my name, Tim, to 600-700. We'll take a break. When we come back, the starting 5 served up by Ritchie Law Firm here on 99.9 The Fan.
As they say, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Canes fans, it was a great run in the stand. No, it wasn't. This sucks. Now it's time for a new look Canes. What will the franchise do tomorrow? Trade your favorites? Smash the piggy bank in free agency? Find out with us, your official home of the Carolina Hurricanes in season and the off season. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
Oh. This North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club espresso is strong.
Pace yourself. New winners tend to overdo it on the coffee. And with new scratch-offs out,
Well...
Hey guys, I'm a new winner. My name's Steve. What's your name? I really love this coffee. Wow, this place is great. Glad I grabbed a new scratch off. Okay, nice to meet you. Gonna get a massage. Ooh, I think I need to relax.
Told you.
This month's tickets pack $135 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.41 to 4.25. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
McDonald's presents Burger Reviews by Hamburglar. Today's review, the best ever Big Mac burger. Take it away, Hamburglar.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, there's more special sauce in every bite.
Rubble, rubble.
He said, rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble.
Rubble, rubble indeed, my friend.
Save on a Big Mac and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus get any size Diet Dr. Pepper for $1.29.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Available at most restaurants in this area. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 Pepsis for just $4 at Handy Hugo. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event when Dave, the sales guy, asks, want to test drive the Rogue? And I'm like, let's go. We're driving when Dave says, check out the VC turbo engine. I hit the gas and whoosh. I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Dave goes, if you think that's cool, watch this. Dave shows me the miles per gallon and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty impressive fuel economy. Dave mentions, these new cars are going fast. And in that moment, I had to have that Rogue. Crazy, right?
Wait till you hear how I got my Sentra.
Now get 2.9% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city, 34 highway to 30 city, 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. For well-qualified buyers, 2.9% APR financing for 60 months on new 2024 Rogue and dealer stock. Example, 60 months financing at $17.92 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to residency restrictions and INMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. N6324.
Autobell Car Wash has been trusted for 55 years for high-quality service. We'll clean your car from the inside out. Now through June 2nd, buy 2 Super Poly Process Wash tickets at any Autobell for just $55.
People can tell when you Autobell.
If you think you or someone close to you is having a stroke, we have 2 words for you. Be fast. B for balance, E for eyes, F is in face, A for arms, S for speech, T for time to call 911. Look for changes in balance, vision, or speech, weakness in one arm, a drooping face. Learn the signs at wakemed.org/stroke, because every second counts.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Beautiful day, warmer afternoon. You probably felt that. Clear and milder tonight, 61. Hotter for your day on Wednesday and a little bit more humid too, 89. Hot and humid on Thursday. The high temperature about 92.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 66 points to 39,873. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. The starting 5 served up by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com. As always, the starting 5 starts with number 5. The Panthers kicker,
Eddy Pinero,
isn't at optional team activities. He's not at OTAs. It's not technically a holdout because it's optional team activities.
Yeah, but they're voluntary.
Technically.
Yeah. Organized team activities are
But
voluntary.
he's going into the last year of his contract. He's played well the last 2 years. I can read the writing on the wall here. The kicker isn't that because he wants more money. The kicker, Eddy Pinero. What is the kicker? Here's what I mean. Here's why do you realize how many problems the Panthers have that are so far above and beyond the priority list of making sure the kicker is happy with their contract? They got to worry about getting in field goal range. They're not sure they can do that yet. They got to worry about scoring a touchdown so you can kick a field goal or kick an extra point. They got to worry about that before they worry about the kicker. That is a very, very strange situation. And, you know, if Dave Canales wasn't told by somebody, if he wasn't in a meeting where it was brought up, I doubt the head coach, who is an offensive mind, would even notice the kicker wasn't at practice. He'd be like, I don't know, we practiced field goal block at the end. Somebody kicked it. Was it the start or the backup? I don't know. The kick was up in the air. At some point, I'm going to have to go into my rant about why I think the kicking game should be completely out of football. Something weird about all these, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 230, 260, 320-pound athletes that are the modern-day gladiators, forcibly moving other humans off their spot, and then the biggest play of the game is like, where's the 170-pound flexible guy? But I digress. Eddy Pinero, my advice to you if I were your agent, get to OTAs. Politely ask for more money. Get to OTAs. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Plus, they signed an undrafted kicker this offseason as well. The thicker kicker, big dude from Missouri. Don't need to know his name. He's just thicker kicker. 2 C's.
You just want that guy to be there.
Yeah, I do. Heck, yes, I do.
Buy a jersey?
I might. I'm just going to put thick on the back with an extra H and an extra C.
You might draw a different crowd.
Just might.
Number 4 is the NCAA settlement we were talking about earlier. The breakdown is there's a 2.7 and change.
2.7 billion. At that point, who's counting?
At that point, it's $100 million. Who's counting?
That's a good point.
$2.7 billion settlement that's going to be paid to players of college sports from 2016 till recently, 2022, something like that. It has to do with the name, image, and likeness. It has to do with profiting off of their name and image and likeness without the fact of the matter is there's $2.7 billion that has to be paid by the conferences and the NCAA to the players. And now there's a settlement proposal that needs to be voted on how they're going to break down who pays what. And I yet again find myself flabbergasted, befuddled by the fact that anyone out there is still living under the pretense that non-Power 5 teams, Power 4 teams now, have any power at all. You might be able to argue that the ACC and the Big 12 barely have any power at all because the Big 10 and the SEC are seen as a step above, and we know that by the structure of the expanded college football playoff, the 12-team playoff. More auto bids for the Big 10 and the SEC than the ACC and the Big 12, hierarchy established. If the ACC can't get the same amount of teams in a college football playoff as the SEC, you think anyone cares what the Big South is doing? Because that's what's happening here. Right now, the scheduled payment is of the money that the conferences have to pay, 60% is being proposed to be paid by the non-Power 4 and 40% paid by the Power 4. The
part of that is actually also, like, technically the Pac-12 is still part of this. So, like, those schools would still have to pay, but yes. And the conference would still have to pay because it technically still exists.
So we'll call them Power 5 then.
Yeah.
The non-Power 5 schools want that flipped. They want that to be 60% paid by the power conferences, 40% paid by the non-power.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to be 6'10". The non-power 5 has no power in any of this.
Yeah.
They haven't had conference realignment. There's all they can voice their displeasure just to be on record. I would just like to be on record that I would like to pay less money. Now that is on the record, how would you like me to pay the most money? Check, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal,
Cash App this?
Bitcoin, Cash App. What are we talking about? You want this in liquid currency? Can I cash out stock options? The Mid-American Conference, the MAC, they're like, well, we won't have a check till Wednesday. We do all of our business on Wednesday. The power conferences run everything. If they want you to pay, I'm surprised they're paying 40%, if we're being honest. I'm surprised they don't just go, well, how about this? We'll only beat you by 45 this fall when you come for your pay game to our giant stadiums rather than the 58 we were going to beat you by. Deal? You'll pay the rest. Thanks. And I know it hits the smaller conferences more. I know it hits the non-football revenue, non-football conferences more because the NCAA payouts, which is what they're drawing down on to make these big payments on this lawsuit, are a higher percentage of your athletics budget. I get it. I hear you. It stinks. Life's tough. Get a helmet. If you want to be a part of the same organization as those big conferences, they're going to bully you. If you don't like the relationship, if you think it's abusive, you got to leave. You got to let them leave. That's not going to happen. At least not you leaving. They might leave. And they'll probably stick you with the cost.
Big 12, all their presidents and chancellors of their universities all voted unanimously today already to approve of that settlement.
Of course. Because it's favorable for the power conferences.
100% is.
And once the ACC, the Big Ten, and the SEC approve it, you really think the whole thing's going to get shut down because the Mountain West is unhappy?
Yeah.
The Big Sky, is that the CAA?
Sorry, Sun Belt.
We're not the Sun Belt. We're the Fun Belt.
Yeah.
Great. Go be fun. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
NBA Conference Finals start tonight. Eastern Conference Finals between Boston and Indiana start tonight. I believe tomorrow. Is it tomorrow we're getting the Western Conference, Timberwolves and
Correct.
Mavericks?
Eastern Conference starts tonight.
Here's the cool thing about this year's conference finals. It's not the passing of a torch. It's torch passed. And what I mean by that is one of these 4 is going to get their first NBA championship. Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton. Those are 4 young all-stars that are vying to be one of the next faces of the league. There is nobody in the conference finals right now that has an MVP award. The reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic, eliminated. Multiple-time MVPs like Steph Curry, Giannis, LeBron, eliminated. Giannis, eliminated. Kevin Durant, eliminated. Harden, eliminated. Westbrook, eliminated. All of these guys have MVPs. None of them are still playing. There is a passing of the torch that has been happening. Feels like torch passed. Somebody else has, at least the championship torch has been passed, right? By the way, all those guys, aside from Harden that I brought up, have a championship.
Yeah.
They're all gone. They're not standing in the way of the young studs, right? They're not standing in the way of whoever is out of those 4 guys I brought up. And by the way, Kyrie is obviously still around, but he's never been the best player on a championship team. And even if they win this one, probably Luka.
Still pretty damn good, though.
Oh, he's unreal.
Pretty damn good.
But Luka might be more damn good, more unreal.
They're up there.
There's some interesting teams in there, but I think right now is a really, really good chance, good time try to become a basketball fan. Because it's, if you became a basketball fan in the last 10, 15 years, you kind of have to start off your fandom by being a hater. You kind of have you have to start with I really hope LeBron doesn't win.
Okay.
Right? Because you can't just airdrop in and be like, I'm a fan of the, second greatest player of all time at the peak of his powers. That doesn't sound like you got to pick your team.
Yeah, you can jump on that.
And then you got to root for LeBron not to win. Or the legacy Warriors. It's not fun to be they won 73 games last year. That's who I'm going to be a fan of. But for right now, it's pick your next generation star that you vibe with, right? Maybe you like Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns doing a Abbott and Costello stand-up comedy routine at the press conference after the game every time. Maybe you like Luka looking like he can't jump over a phone book at times and being one of the best players in the world. Maybe you like Jason Tatum because he went to Duke. Maybe you like Tyrese Halliburton because he was a no-star recruit. Maybe you like pick your guy, and now there's a horse race going on. Now it's who's in first, who's moving on, who's in the lead. That doesn't happen very often in the NBA. Usually there's one team, and everyone's trying to knock them off. Right now, there's a legitimate horse race to see who's going to win.
Our guy Brian from Mixed Mornings with Kyle Bryan and Sarah Bryan Lord was rocking his Tyrese Halliburton jersey. Granted, he's from Indiana.
Yep.
So he's a massive Pacers fan. He's all in. He's all in on his Pacers.
He is extremely all in, and he even this is not to call him out because he's got the jersey. He's bona fide. He's from Indiana. I was like, Halliburton's loaded. He was like, really? His contract's big? I was like, it's $200 million. Halliburton is very much having his let me introduce myself to everybody moment.
I will admit, I struggle watching the NBA. I do. Just because it's hard for me in the regular season to get into watching NBA games. It really is. The style of play just
nothing
isn't
wrong with being a playoff fan.
Yeah, but the style of play for me in the regular season, it's just hard for me to get into. Plus, I just don't have the bandwidth with Canes and college basketball and everything else going on. But come NBA playoff time, now we get to the conference championships, especially now that the Canes are gone, I'll watch.
Oh yeah,
I'll get into it.
I use the NBA as especially because we're no disrespect to the Charlotte Hornets, not in a very crazy NBA market. I use the NBA mindless fan.
Yeah.
If there's no Canes game on, I'm working out or something, I'm going to turn the TV on and I'm like, look at this. It's Timberwolves Spurs. And I'm just like, I want to see what Wemby's up to. And I'll turn it on, watch. And here's the best part about it. I don't need to see the end of the movie. I don't even need to know who wins. If I watch 20 minutes and then I'm like, I'm going to watch something else, I'm good. It's just mindless entertainment for me. Until you get to the playoffs, then I do care about who's winning and who's not. What number is that? Number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
OTAs are going on across the NFL. OTAs, optional team activities.
Is it optional or organized?
I believe optional.
I thought it was organized.
Oh, geez. Have I? Now organized team practice. Wait a second. Hold on.
Yeah, it's organized.
NFL, OTA, sporting, all right, off-season rules. Hold on. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3.
Just Google what does OTA stand for in football. Just
what
organized. You're taking way too long on this, by the way.
Nah,
I know it's voluntary, but it's still considered organized.
But that's Wikipedia. Can't trust Wikipedia. I was on the official rule book, in which case they just call them OTAs and don't either way. Organized, optional. They're organized and they're optional, so maybe it's a double deal there. Maybe they just call them OOTAs. They're going on all over the NFL. Bryce Young is going to be the one everyone asks questions about. The headline coming out of the first day was Dave Canales said Bryce Young is fantastic picking up the playbook. Earlier today, I read headlines from it was ESPN, it was The Athletic, it was Pro Football Talk, it was Panthers Wire, which is the team site from USA Today, and all of their headlines coming out of the first day of OTAs was some form of Bryce Young picks up the offense. Dave Canales says fantastic. And I'm going, Is that how low the bar has gotten for Bryce Young? Bryce Young is the starting quarterback in the NFL. He's known who his coach is going to be, and he's had the playbook for months now. And he was the person coming into the draft that had the supercomputer brain. He was the one that interviewed so well and dazzled the socks off of everybody when he got to the whiteboard and he could talk about football. And now suddenly we're impressed that he knows the offense for day one install. Let's raise our expectations for his football IQ. It's not a headline. Is that segment on YouTube?
It is.
All right, check it out on YouTube. I did a full thing on it. I felt myself working myself back up into it, but we don't have enough time here on the starting five.
I used a comment on it during our last segment.
True. I was just double checking. You can go find it on our YouTube page, 99.9 The Fan, for the full breakdown. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
So to sum it up, Bryce Young is smart.
Bryce Young is smart, and don't be surprised when he's smart.
Yeah.
Yao Ming is tall. That's part of the reason why he was drafted number 1 by the Rockets. Don't be surprised when he's tall going into year 2.
Yeah, water's wet. Don't be surprised if your clothes get soaked when you jump in a bathtub with clothes on.
You do that often?
No.
I wouldn't be surprised, though. I'd be surprised that I chose to do it. Number 1 is very simple. Canes have a lot of free agency decisions coming up. And this is the sliveriest. Is that a word? Sliveriest?
We'll go with it.
The tiniest of the silver linings for the Canes, exiting earlier than they wanted to from the postseason, is that they have all of the time they need to negotiate with unrestricted free agents ahead of them hitting the open market. And it gives them all the time to figure out what they want to do ahead of free agency opening up. The names are some of the names that you probably have grown accustomed to really cheering on, that they have to make a decision if they're coming back or not. We're talking Brett Pesce. We're talking Brady Shea. We're talking Jordan Martinook. Right? We're talking some of the culture setters and main contributors for the Carolina Hurricanes. And also some of the names who you maybe have just gotten to know in the last couple of years as a Cane. Talking Chatfield, talking Jake Gensel. Martin Necas has been around for a long time. He's not an unrestricted free agent, but you got to decide what's happening with him when it comes to moving forward. A lot of decisions to make for the Canes. Don Waddell spoke to the media, so what he had to say on pending free agents.
Actually, Rod and I have talked. We haven't sat down and really prioritized player by player. We know that we'd like to try to keep as much of our D together. We think we've got one of the best D corps in the league. So I'd like to keep them together. I know with Jake, I think he played a good role here. I know Sebastian talked about how much he liked playing with them. So, we haven't begun those talks. We'll talk to him also. But when the season ends like this, it's not something that everybody really wants to talk about. Now, in the next few days, I know I'm going to hear from all the agents, and we'll start discussing where these players, where they're at and what they expect.
Where they're at and what they expect. In other words, how much money do you want? How much money do you need? How much less money can we give you to stick around than somebody else would get you to leave? We earlier today on the show went through basically all the unrestricted free agents and whether, our level 1 through 5 on how much we would want to keep them if we were Don Waddell. As just a brief recap, there were only 2 5s, which meant we want to keep them. Actually, I had 2 5s. Mm-hmm. Dennis had a 5 and a 7.
Yeah, I did.
The 5 and the 7, which I had a 5 and Dennis had a 7 on, was Jake Gensel.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say your 7 came partially from honeymoon phase?
No.
You haven't had much time with Jake Gensel, and you're already head over heels.
I think that dude's been awesome his entire career.
That's true, too. Not just here.
Yeah, not just here. It's just I've seen what that guy has done his career.
And all right,
what he still can do.
And the other, I think, is a little bit more surprising because who wouldn't want Jake Gensel on their team? The other, Jalen Chatfield, both of us put a 5 on.
Mm-hmm.
And my justification is I think he plays well with Dmitry Orlov. And if Pesce and Shea are possibly on the way out, one or both, I like to have as many intact pairings as possible, and that would give you 2. That would give you Burns and Slavin, and that would give you Chatfield and Orlov as that second pairing, which I think they're ready to step up into. Who's that third pairing? Well, there's a lot to get to there. Nikishin from Russia, can they get him out and get him to America? Scott Morrow, can they trust him, a rookie, to slot right into the opening day 6 defenseman? There's a lot of questions there, but I think Chatfield definitely will.
That whole conversation is already up on our YouTube page, so watch it. You can leave comments on it as well.
Give us some of your ratings.
Yes.
Who would you keep, 1 through 5? Let us know. YouTube 99.9 The Fan. Right now, I'm Tim Donnelly. The Drive with Tim Donnelly is what you're listening to, and I'm here for my partners at Window Nation. If you're like me, anytime you're hiring anyone to do something on your house, right? I know I am all about trust. And Justin from Window Nation came into my house, and he you could trust him, right? He was hanging out. I had my son who was screaming and yelling, and as he tried to show us all of the things that went into the windows, and I'm talking about the energy efficiency, how much we may not realize that we are paying in our energy bill that is going right out the windows that we have. And as Justin was demonstrating all of this and using the science to demonstrate all of this, I couldn't help but think, yeah, this is a company I would trust to work on my house. This is a company I would trust to replace my windows. And this is a company I would trust that when they say, hey, we'll save you 30% on your energy bill, we'll save you 20% on your energy bill based on the windows you have in here, I would go, all right, I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to depend on that savings to help me pay off some of what we're doing here. It's Window Nation, and it's, like I said, the trust, it's just there. It's inherent. Set up a no-obligation consultation, and you will understand as well. A free no-obligation consultation, and you'll understand what I'm saying. It's Window Nation's semi-annual sale going on right now, which even sweetens the deal even more. 50% off all window styles, plus 0% interest for 5 years, and an additional bonus if you schedule your appointment this week. Again, 50% off all window styles, plus 0% interest for 5 years, and an additional bonus if you schedule an appointment this week. And as I said, they can even teach you about windows and teach you about your energy bill and teach you about how much it's going to increase the value of your home while your 3-year-old is screaming and carrying on right next to them. They're that good, and you trust them that much. The number to call is simple to remember, 866-90-NATION to schedule your appointment, or you can visit windownation.com to schedule now. Again, if you do it by the end of the week, there's a special bonus. 866-90-NATION to schedule, or windownation.com. Be sure to check it out. We're going to take almost skipped getting our numbers game contestants. I was just cruising along. We have a pair of tickets. John Fogerty is bringing the Celebration Tour, celebrating his songs from CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival, with special guests George Thorogood and the Destroyers and Hardy Har to Red Hat Amphitheater on June 5th. If you want to win the pair of tickets, got to play the numbers game. We need 2 contestants. Call in now. 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio. WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, it's bow time. So don't wait, grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bo Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bo Sauce? Then it's Bo time.
Triangle High School Hockey League update.
Hi, I'm Steven Ismali. I'm the president and founder of the Triangle High School Hockey League. High School Hockey League, we specify in the spring. We basically just give a chance for high school players to play in front of their schools. Everyone loves it. I mean, we get a lot of fans every game. Everyone just loves playing in front of their school.
It's Rivalry Week. Don't miss any of the fun high school hockey action. Wakefield will take on Wake Forest at the Factory tomorrow at 6 p.m. Or head to Invisalign Arena tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Leesville versus RC. Then you won't want to miss Thursday's games. Thursday at Polar Ice Wake Forest, Enloe takes on Heritage at 6 o'clock. Then at 8, it's Millbrook versus Holly Springs. Thursday at Invisalign Arena, Green Level takes on Apex Friendship at 6:30 p.m. Remember, all games are just $2. For schedule times and to purchase tickets, visit trianglehshl.leagueapps.com.
Triangle High School Hockey League update brought to you by CK's Plumbing and Backflow, Wake County's first choice for residential and commercial plumbing services.
Fellas, don't get stuck on first base. Hit a home run with help from Arise, the urology clinic for men. We can help your performance with Core Wave Therapy, a pain-free, drug-free way to break up blockages and get you back in the game. No pills, no painful injections, and it only takes about 20 minutes. Score real help for your ED issues from Arise Urology Clinic for Men in Cary. Call 919-459-5400 or visit corewavetherapy.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
It is time to play the numbers game here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The contestants, Dave in Clayton and James in Raleigh. Dave and Clayton and James in Raleigh are getting ready to play. As always, we need to ask a question to see who gets to go first. Since we've been talking a little bit of free agency priorities and things for the Canes, I hope they're Canes fans. If not, see if you can fake it. Dave and Clayton, we'll start with you. Who's your number one priority as far as the Canes for this offseason, whether it's bringing somebody in or re-signing somebody?
Ooh, I'm in trouble because I'm a Bruins fan, but I'm going to say the Canes need to bring in a new goalie.
All right, that's fair. That's a decent, honest answer. James and Raleigh, we go to you next. What's priority number one for the offseason for the Canes?
I think another goal scorer.
All right. Both solid answers, a little vague. Dennis, I'll lean on you. A goalie or a goal scorer?
Probably go with David, goalie.
There you go. Dave, you got the tiebreaker from Dennis. James, don't worry, you'll have your chance to win the tickets. You'll have your chance to win the numbers game. So go ahead and sit on the line. By the way, the tickets that you're playing for are a pair of tickets to see John Fogerty bringing the Celebration Tour, celebrating his songs from Creedence Clearwater Revival with special guests George Thorogood and the Destroyers and Hardy Hard. They're coming to Red Hat Amphitheater June 5th. A pair of tickets will go to the winner. Dave, you are up first. Go ahead and pick your category out of these options. NFL Johnson family reunion, all players with the last name Johnson. NFL Kentucky Fried Football, all players. Oh, okay, I get it. Kentucky, they all went to the University of Kentucky to play their college ball. NBA current players only or NHL Canes and Whalers only?
I think I'll go with NBA current players.
All right, NBA current players only. I will give you the team and the players. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. By the way, when it says current players only, this means all players, I believe, that are still playing in the playoffs this year. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right, you do have one pass. Your time will start when you hear the horn. OG Anunoby, New York Knicks.
21.
Incorrect.
He's
TJ
not playing
McConnell,
anymore.
Indiana Pacers.
Connell, 11.
Incorrect. OG Anunoby, New York Knicks.
Pass.
Derek Lively, the second, Dallas Mavericks.
13.
Incorrect. TJ McConnell, Indiana Pacers.
5.
Incorrect. Derek Lively, the second, Dallas Mavericks.
15.
Incorrect. OG Anunoby, New York Knicks. You actually are right, by the way, your complaint. The Knicks aren't still playing. We might be a day or two behind. Or maybe I just misinterpreted that.
Should have sent me some Celtic players.
We got to sell. Oh, you're Bruins fan. I didn't even see that.
That's right.
Still, you have a chance to win by way of getting the first question right. A tie goes to the person that goes first. So if we get double offers, you are the winner. So go ahead and sit on the line, all right?
Yep.
All right. James and Raleigh, you are up next. Are you there?
I'm here.
All right. The categories are NFL Johnson family reunion, all players with the last name Johnson. NFL Kentucky Fried Football, all players that played their college ball at Kentucky. Or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
NFL Johnson family reunion.
All right. The way this works, I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions?
No questions. I'm ready.
All right. You need one to win, and your time will start when you hear the horn. Keyshawn Johnson, New York Jets.
19.
Correct. Pepper Johnson, New York Giants.
Pass.
Deontay Johnson, Pittsburgh Steelers.
80.
Incorrect. Larry Johnson, Kansas City Chiefs.
27.
Correct. Rudy Johnson, Cincinnati Bengals.
80.
Incorrect. Pepper Johnson, New York Giants.
17.
Incorrect. Deontay Johnson, Pittsburgh Steelers.
81.
Incorrect. You needed to flip those last two. Deontay Johnson with the Steelers wore number 18. You got Pepper Johnson, or sorry, you didn't get Pepper Johnson with the Giants. That's number 52. You got Keyshawn, number 19. You got Larry Johnson, number 27. Rudy Johnson with the Bengals wore number 32. But the two you got, that's plenty for the win. Congratulations, you get the tickets.
Awesome. Thank you.
There you go. James and Raleigh gets to see John Fogerty and the Celebration Tour. Go ahead and sit on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get from you to make sure you can go see the concert, all right? All right. By the way, everybody out there, follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. We've been interacting a lot with our YouTube today. Just want to make sure you can be a part of those interactions. Matter of fact, we'd like you to. Go ahead and check them out. Also, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. That's Gordon Miller and Miller Lending, the home of the no closing cost loan. You may not want to listen to another lender if they want to talk about over the length of a 30-year mortgage, right? Everyone that's bought a house, you've seen the charts, right? They give you the chart, and it's all this is how much you're going to pay in interest, this is how much you're going to pay in principal, this is how much your monthly payment is, and it's every month over the next 30 years. It's very daunting. It's very intimidating. Well, guess what? The average length of a loan is less than 4 years, and it's been that way for decades. So don't think about things in 30-year mortgage. Think about things in terms of how long you're actually going to hold that mortgage, how long you're actually going to hold that loan. And then what are you going to do next? What does that mean? Well, maybe you'll refinance because rates have dropped and you can get a no closing cost loan from Miller Lending, so you're not going to have to dig deep into your pocket and bring out all those costs and fees every time. Maybe you're going to move. Maybe you're going to upsize, downsize. Either way, if you're getting a mortgage every 3, 4, 5 years, you don't want to be paying costs and fees each and every time. Miller Lending and their no closing cost loan allows you to not dig into your pockets each and every single time you get that loan. Give them a call. They can explain more. 919-447-3377. Make sure they know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan from me, Tim Donnelly. 919-447-3377. That's the number to call, or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, the place to visit online, millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, really, Panthers? The kicker? Not at OTAs? Wanting more money? The kicker? Stick around. It's coming up next.
Getting ready to take on spring? Make your first move with the reliable performance and power of Steel battery tools. From hedge trimmers and mowers to string trimmers and more, save on select Steel battery tools. Right now, save $50 on the RMA 460V lawnmower battery set. Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. With AK30 battery and AL101 charger. Offer valid for a limited time only while supplies last. See participating dealer for details.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Shinecup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
At Ram, all we do is trucks. And now during Ram season, all we do is offer great deals on our trucks, including Ram 2500 and Ram 3500 heavy-duty pickups. Or get a great deal and drive home the 2024 Ram 1500. It's the most luxurious Ram 1500 ever, based on standard and available features offered. Ram 1500 also has purpose-driven technology and advanced safety and security features for enhanced maneuverability. And right now during Ram season, it's the perfect time to get one. Hurry to your local Ram dealer today. Ram is a registered trademark.
The Triangle is going to be hopping this summer with great soccer. June 5th through the 10th is TST, a 7-on-7 men's and women's tournament at Wake Med Soccer Complex featuring 118 matches. Then July 23rd, International Giants, Manchester City, and Celtic face off at UNC. Save 10% off tickets by going to fcseries.com/Carolina. Use promo code TRIANGLE. That's fcseries.com/Carolina. Promo code TRIANGLE for 10% off.
It's time to electrify your excitement for NBA playoff action with BetMGM. Hey, it's Victoria Votenecker here for BetMGM, and maybe you want to boost your odds on your next NBA playoff wager. Just log into your BetMGM account today to receive an odds boost token for playoff hoops action. Then place a wager on any NBA playoff matchup and apply your token. Just make sure to bet up to the minimum stake, odds, and legs specified on the token. If your boosted wager hits, you'll score up to 50% more winnings. Enjoy BetMGM's exclusive offers on the biggest playoff games and try betting features like same-game parlays, plus tap into postseason thrills with the king of sportsbooks. Claim your odds boost token today and turn up the heat at BetMGM, an authorized gaming operator of the NBA. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, North Carolina only. Existing customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as unrestricted funds. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5555 843 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Panthers OTAs are going on 3 times a week. They'll be out there on the practice field, offense going against defense. Actually, to me, it feels like real practice when the entire team can be out there. Rookies can be there. Veterans can be there. Offense can be there. Defense can be there. Linemen can be there. Coaches can be there. You know who's not there for the Panthers? Eddy Pinero, their kicker. I've seen headlines, right? I follow all the NFL accounts. I've seen headlines about other teams that are dealing with players not at OTAs. Right? The Cowboys are dealing with CeeDee Lamb not showing up. The Vikings are dealing with Justin Jefferson not showing up. The Bengals are dealing with T. Higgins not showing up. The Panthers are dealing with Eddy Pinero not showing up. One of these things is not like the other. Eddy Pinero has been away from the Panthers throughout their off-season work, and obviously that includes yesterday's OTA. He's in the final year of his current deal with the team. You know what that means. Money, 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 money. Money. Pinero was good last year, don't get me wrong. He's a good kicker. 2-game winners, by the way. At times, he was one of the only, if not the only thing the Panthers were confident in at times last year. He's been good for 2 years with the Panthers. He's pretty good the year before. But I can't emphasize this enough. He is a kicker. There's a saying. It's a good one. I heard it from Dave Grohl the first time. Dennis, do you know what the last thing the drummer says before he gets kicked out of the band is?
I want to sing.
Hey, I've got an idea for a song. Right? It's the last thing the drummer says before it's like, I think we need a new drummer. Well, you know what the last thing a kicker says before he gets shipped off from a football team? Hey, I'm not coming in until I get more money. Especially a bad team, and no disrespect to the Panthers, but you were the worst team in the NFL last year. According to sportsbooks, you're not predicted to win a single game this year. Yeah. No individual game are you a favorite in. Especially a bad team. They've got bigger things to take care of. If you're a Super Bowl contender, yeah, you pay your kicker. Kicker has a little bit of value, right? Because that kicker might be the difference between a conference championship and a not conference championship. Kicker might be the difference between making the playoffs and missing the playoffs. Does anybody think the Panthers are a kicker away from the playoffs?
No.
It's quite literally, right? You're sitting there pouring concrete to build a skyscraper. And somebody is knocking on the door going, wait, stop. What color do you want the doorknob on the bathrooms to be? You want it to be this gold shiny or this chrome shiny? And it's like, buddy, we got bigger things to deal with. We're trying to pour tons and tons and tons of concrete and rebar, and we're trying to set a foundation here. We'll deal with the color on the wall in the penthouse suite another day. Dave Canales is sitting there trying to rehabilitate the image of a number 1 overall pick that had a not great year last year. He is trying to assemble an offensive line on the fly through free agency and whatever else he can scrounge together. He's trying to indoctrinate a completely new wide receiver core to his offense, all while figuring out how to be a head coach himself because it's something he's never done before. Kicker's knocking on the door like, I'd like a couple extra million, or I'm not coming to the offseason. He's going, yeah, okay. Where will you be? Don't worry, I'll figure it out. Enjoy yourself, Eddie. We've got someone that can kick when we need to work on field goal block, right? Cool. If not, I'll do it. Dave Canales was like he could kick. Looks like he stretches a lot.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Good for that rookie, the thicker kicker, the guy they signed out of Missouri, undrafted free agent. You know what? Hey, if you're out there hitting nukes at practice, drilling them for 55, 60, accurate, you do well with the new kickoff rules, you can handle that. All right, cool. Guess what? Your job. Good for him.
That's the other, like, not being there. You better hope somebody notices. Because if you're not there and nobody notices, that is not very good negotiating power.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You weren't here. But is it also good? I guess you could say that for the Carolina Panthers, that the one guy that's not there is your kicker who's not that good. I mean, isn't that a good thing? Can we look at it on the bright side? It's like, hey, everyone else is there.
Bright side is, like, you got Derek Brown taken care of, so he is there.
And, yeah, he's there. Like your new wide receiver, Deontay Johnson, he's there. He could be like, no, I didn't ask to be traded to this team. I'm in the last year of my contract.
Xavier Woods isn't holding out for more or something?
Yeah, exactly. Like, your team's there.
Taylor Moton doesn't want a new contract. You're starting right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, I'm with it. Let's spin zone this bad boy into.
Let's spin zone this
if you have to have someone being a jerk during OTAs, kicker's the best case scenario.
That or your punter. I love Johnny Hecker, though.
Well, punter, I would say kicker worse than punter.
Yeah, punter's actually, to me, more valuable than kicker.
And there's more, like, differences, right? Kicker, like, are you working out? Fine, I don't care where you're working out. You take 3 steps and kick. Like, you can do it on our practice field. You can do it on the high school by your house. You can do it on a beach somewhere. You take 3 steps and kick. There's nothing that changes. Try to put it between the uprights. Find uprights. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
The punter, like, has to know, like, left, right, high. Like, you got to get in You got to get kind of in touch with the rest of everybody on the.
And you also hold. And you said kicker.
Yeah. There should be a position on NFL teams just for holders. Like long
they're
snapper.
called the punter.
Just the long snapper. Long snapper doesn't have to do anything else. Long snapper is not like also the field goal kicker. Why is
I mean, that'd be kind of hard to do.
This is coming from someone who I held my entire life, and I think I would have had a shot if there was only a position.
Should have learned how to punt.
Yeah, I'm not flexible.
Not with your hamstrings.
I'm not flexible.
Not with your hamstrings.
No, that would have been.
I've seen those pop.
That would have been a problem. Can you imagine? I'm an unbelievable punter right up until I pop my hamstring, and who knows? Could be 5 punts, could be 10. Definitely isn't 20, I'll tell you that much. Use them sparingly, coach.
I hope you have a really good offense.
Yeah, hopefully you don't have to use many this season. But when I do punt, it booms.
Who do you pump? Who do you pump for? No, I don't punt. I hold for the Chiefs.
Yeah. How's that different than long snapping?
Well, for long snapping for them, you just got to snap it 8 yards back.
Yeah, I would just have to catch and hold. I used to be able to hold one-handed. Catch, plant, spin, all one-handed. That is a skill that has absolutely no monetary value. Every coach, you're important. Oh, we need you. Oh, the clutch moments are going to come down to you. And I'm like, all right, does anyone else care about this position? No.
They care about it when you screw up.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
When my entire college career, perfect. No bad holds.
That's good.
All it did was ruin my celebrations when I was the quarterback and the holder. Because you throw a touchdown, you want to celebrate, but instead I'm running out there to count to make sure we have enough PAT guys on the field. I'm looking at the kicker to make sure he's ready. By the time I'm jogging off the field, the offense is done celebrating. Everyone's just kind of like, all right, good job. Ruined it. I'm not bitter, though. Not bitter at all.
No.
Should be going into year 11 of my NFL holding career. Wearing the baseball hat on the sideline, throwing it off, running out there, holding a game winner, high-fiving someone like Justin Tucker, jogging off the field.
Just wearing sweats.
Yeah, exactly.
Wearing sweats.
No pads. Every once in a while, a block kick, I get to make a tackle, finish my career with like 8 tackles. Get all of them pictured, blown up in the man cave of me actually playing football. The rest
your
I'm just
highlight
holding.
of your career.
The rest I'm just holding.
1 minute.
But also, I was a college quarterback. I could do something with a fake. I could do something. Maybe maybe 2 touchdown passes in my career.
That's where Johnny Hecker comes in. He was a high school quarterback.
Exactly. I can find an open receiver. I
here.
can go through one A to B rotation, A to B read. That's going to do it for us here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Nobody wants to hear me complain about my holding little insecurity. But we will be talking Panthers to start Overdrive here on 99.9 The Fan. Matter of fact, we talked Panthers earlier, and we're going to play it for you to start Overdrive. So don't go anywhere. Follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. Other than that, have a great night, everybody, and enjoy Overdrive.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Are you a big rock, paper, scissors person?
Absolutely.
Okay, ready? Rock,